Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am Monk. Pretty convenient that happened. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope everybody had a great couple of days. I haven't seen you in a couple. We'll get to that in a second. I've missed you guys, and I'm here to use you for therapy because I'm just going to tell you right off the bat. I'm in a bad mood. I'm in an excessively bad mood. I just woke up angry. I woke up grumpy as shit, and there's reasons for it. Before we get to the reasons, let me bring something on the screen. I don't know if Jack's going to be able to show up. He might be sleeping at this time of day. We're going to go ahead and put this thing on the screen while I talk so that I know if I get disconnected because I'm in such a bad fucking mood. I'm just staying on the Starlink today, and if it goes down at different times, it goes down at different times. So there it is. You guys tuned in for Grumpy Monkey today. So my wife isn't here. She's down visiting my daughter, and if you know anything about me, it's that I need my wife. I need to see her daily. I have an addiction to that woman. But I couldn't make the trip because my body is shit. My fucking piece of shit body won't let me make the trip, and it's not letting me sleep very much either. And I'm pissy. I don't get to see my wife. I don't get to see my daughter. I don't get to see my granddaughters, all because my body is trash, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it makes me angry. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Fuck, I'm in bad mood. I don't like being in a bad mood. I'm a genuinely happy person 99% of the time. No matter how much you hear me grump and complain, I enjoy grumping and complaining. It's part of my personality. When I'm genuinely just pissy, I hate it. I don't like it. And that's what you guys are here for. You guys are here for my sanity check, because hopefully making you guys laugh will put me in a better fun. And we're going to start today with this crazy bitch on your screen right here. It says, I will be the friend that's too woke. And you know that's a great fucking start. Look, if you tuned in for the Charlie Kirk stuff, that's going to come in a little bit. We're going to watch 2, maybe 3 videos today. We're going to start with this crazy bitch, which this one's only like 2.5 minutes long. And then we'll do the Charlie Kirk stuff. And then if there's time and I'm still not in a better mood, we'll cover a couple more. But this one is in regards to the Sweeney American Eagle ads. I hate this world. I hate people. Jesus fucking Christ. So American Eagle has these Sweeney, who already pisses off fat, ugly ladies like the one on your screen right here, because she's got big breasts and she's pretty and she's happy about it. When she's supposed to be like, oh my God, no, don't look at me just because I make a whole living out of whether or not people want to look at me. Stop looking at me. Now, the person on the screen, I don't know them. And the @ that you can read, if you can read that on your screen, is from the Twitter that tweeted this out. That's not that person's actual @ but I'm told. No, you're a fat chick. This is a trans man. So this is a woman who identifies as a man because men won't fuck her. And so she's like, I'm just going to get fat and stick something in my nose and claim to be a dude. And then that way I can claim I didn't even want guys looking at me. I don't want the male gaze. I don't want attention. Look at all the brightly colored flags I put behind me because I don't want attention. Look how I go out onto the internet because I don't want it. I fucking hate those kind of people. The ones who pretend that this isn't a narcissistic pursuit. Look, I am genuine in what I tell you guys, but I do this because I love the adoration. I love the attention. I am an attention whore, and I will never lie to you guys about that. Would I still do this if you guys didn't watch? Well, sure, I started without you guys watching, but I started with the intent that hopefully people would watch me. But I just hate the people. I know I don't want. This woman doesn't do that, by the way. It's just one of those asides. This is what happens when I get really annoyed. My brain is just all over the place looking at things to be pissed off about. And this is one of them. People are like, I don't even want the attention. Bullshit. I just like this for me. Yeah, that's why you're in a corset in the middle of summer in Arizona, because it was just a little too comfortable in the 100-degree heat. So you put on a corset tight jeans, and hooker boots. Yep, you did that all for you. You did that because you wanted people to look at you and find you attractive. Stop it. Maybe I should get to the actual stuff before I just rant about everything that pisses me off. Fuck, we'll get to that later anyway. All right. So Chubbo here has a problem with the Sydney Sweeney ads.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird.
They're not weird. I've seen at least 3 of them. She's tongue-in-cheek playing on genes that make up your DNA versus the jeans that she's wearing. She's like, my jeans are blue. Because she's wearing blue jeans. She's trying to sell blue jeans for American Eagle.
Like fascist weird.
I'm sorry. Fascist weird? Huh? I heard her say this and I hadn't seen the ads yet. So I'm like, okay, I have to go watch the ads. The fuck is fascist about a jean ad? Oh, they have a selling point on this. They have a convoluted, nonsensical reason for these ads to be fascist. I don't want to spoil it though. No, seriously. Several of you going, huh? What? No, seriously. They are fascist and
like Nazi propaganda weird.
They are fascist and Nazi propaganda. Oh, God bless America. You know, I was just saying that I need to get on with my overall topic so I don't just look for shit to be mad at. And I didn't do that on purpose, but dear God, is that a good segue to what this woman is saying? If you were looking at a jean ad that is literally just Sweeney in all of the ads, it's just her wearing American Eagle jeans and an American Eagle jean jacket. That's it. There's no like communist or Nazi propaganda in the background. There's nothing in the background. Most of the backgrounds are just plain. And we'll see some because she's going to share a few to let us understand. But if you can look at that and you're like, this is Nazi propaganda, you're just looking for shit to be mad at and making it up. At least I bitch about things that genuinely annoy me. I don't have to be like, what would be funny to bitch about today that'll make the audience be like, man, he's crazy. This bitch is just crazy. I saw some jean ads and I saw the Hitler inside. I could see that they were trying to Nazify the women's out there by telling them to buy blue jeans. Fuck. Blonde and blue eyes Aryan. Well, Shio, you're getting ahead of the story there, but basically, yeah.
My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has her genes.
Now, what? Okay. You chose to put that clip in there. You chose, of all of the commercials she did, to grab that one to follow up your fascistic and Nazi comparisons. I don't understand the mindset you have to have. I do not understand the level of crazy you need to be for your brain to have seen what we just watched and you to go, fucking Hitler. Now, some of you picked up on a Shio did a moment ago. Blue eyes and blonde hair. Oh my God, Sydney Sweeney's a Nazi. That is the argument, by the way. Part of it. Don't worry, she has another weird thing later on. But the argument is, oh, they're saying the good genes are blonde hair and blue eyes. You know, like Hitler. This is the real world. This is the world we live in.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
City.
Oh, uh-oh. Sorry about that. My internet cut out. Uh-oh. They passed the genes down. Do you get it? This is a eugenics commercial. This eugenics commercial. They want to turn all the babies blue-eyed and blonde-haired. By the way, you're welcome, world. I've been doing that on my own. Through my offspring and my offspring's offspring, we've made a lot of little blue-eyed, blonde-haired babies. I guess I got the good genes, right? This is supposedly a Nazi dog whistle. They're actually using that term. It's a dog whistle. Oh my God, dog whistling. Yeah, American Eagle is out there like what we really want is Nazis to buy our genes. The 0.00001% of the American population that identifies as Nazi. We neo-Nazis, by the way, not real Nazis. We need them out here buying our genes for girls. There's a level of me that if they were just fucking around would find this hilarious. If this was parody and they were like, hi, look, Nazi genes, hi, I would be like, it's kind of lame, but all right, I get it. That's funny. But these people are serious. And this is why we need to bring asylums back, which, by the way, Trump said something about that, and Asmongold claimed credit for being the one that Trump's watching. Fuck you, Asmon. We've been talking about bringing asylums back for a long, long time. You little bitch. But if this was just a joke, if this was just them playing around, cool. All right. Ha 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 ha. Being that it's not, it's kind of disturbing that this is an adult. This is a person who gets up in the morning and makes decisions for themselves, possibly even drives on the roads with you and me, who interacts with other people, and they're insane. They're just insane.
Sweeney.
Asmon doesn't know who you are. That would be an important point if I said anything about Asmon knowing who I am.
That's very Keynes.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
What? Should we be surprised that a brand that's literally called American Eagle is making fascist propaganda? Fuck me. Okay, go read Mussolini's treatise on fascism. Okay, go read it. There's not a part of it that talks about you have to be blonde-haired and blue-eyed. You stupid bitch. Blonde-haired and blue-eyed has nothing to do with fascism. It has to, if you're trying to bring it into that context, what it is actually eugenics coming out of Nazi Germany, you silly little bitch. But you can't talk about eugenics because they actually like eugenics. Just ask the half of the black population that doesn't exist because they've killed them all. You know, that's actually a little bit of foreshadowing for the Charlie Kirk thing. She doesn't exist, or she doesn't know that eagles exist in multiple, what was that? I'm sorry, in multiple continents, right? Well, no. See, I'm very curious. I don't know if she even is making the eagle reference from the Nazis, because I mean, America's bird is the bald eagle. We have the bald eagle all over the place. So I don't know if she's just suggesting that because it's American Eagle, completely American, is fascist because America's fascist, or if she means America and then Eagle, like Hitler had the eagle's nest, and Hitler had the big eagle above his you know, that big eagle prop. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if she honestly missed that America has been tied with eagles long before Nazi Germany existed, long before Mussolini decides fascism is a thing. I honestly don't know. And she's so retarded that I can't guess, because the levels of retard that even have to go into making this video, that's a level that you could get all of the good psychiatrists, psychologists, and just random people on Twitter who understand the human condition. You could get them all together in a room and go figure this shit out, and they couldn't, because the bitch is crazy. Well, that one was longer than expected. Sorry about that, guys. Again, I'm not going to switch over to the other internet or anything. We're just going to have bloops where I drop out for a second here and there. All right, back to Chunky.
Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes.
Yeah, it's a play on words, you silly bitch. Sydney Sweeney is an attractive woman. She's pretty, and that generally comes from genes. Now, if you took off her makeup, who knows what she'd look like, because all of them, you ever see those? Well, here's so and so without her makeup, and they don't even look like each other. Is what it is. So yeah, just his mic. What? Did Monkey kill anybody else? Oh no, my mic didn't die. It was my internet.
Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
Pretty girl has good genes. Nazi propaganda. Fuck me. Do you think she honestly doesn't get the play on words? Or do you think in her crazy little brain, she genuinely believes that a gene company is trying to bring about a Nazi revolution? Fuck me. I honestly don't know. I really don't. Our bird could have been the turkey. That fits us better. Stubborn, tough, crazy. No, because turkeys are ugly, and that's why you need the bald eagle, because they're badass. And the turkey thing, Ben Franklin supposedly suggested it, and yeah, it was a bad idea. You don't want a bird that's, I mean, look at some of the birds around the world. Like, oh, sorry, your country's gay. Anyway,
I also am thinking about, like, all of the young girls.
How many other countries are known for their national bird? Is that even I mean, I've looked them up before because of various stories we've covered. But like, Canadians, are you guys proud of whatever the fuck your bird is? What is your bird? Like the swallow, I'm guessing. Do you guys, are the rest of the world, are you guys even interested in your national bird? We have the bald fucking eagle. It will kick your ass. Everybody else is like, well, we got a bird because that's a thing people do. When did that start to be a thing too? When do we be like, you know what? We should have a national bird. How come we don't have like a national cat? We should have national cats. Just saying.
Girls who are doing their back to school shopping right now at places like American Eagle, who are seeing ads like this.
Oh my God. Young girls are going to back to school, and we're sending this whole new breed of female young Nazi because they watched an American Eagle ad. Jesus Christ, lady. Dark Conservatarian, thank you so much. Money for Monkey. I appreciate that, and all of you. I'm dog whistling. Give me money. So he can keep providing us good content and maybe, just maybe, buy himself some actual good internet. Look, I would buy good internet if they offered it in my area. I have the very best I can get, you know, because Biden spent $41 billion to bring internet to me. Don't understand, Monkey. It's fascist because of all of the Hitler particles she stores in her titties. Thank you, Keldrick. I forgot about the titty Nazi particles. Yeah, that's something that I always forget about when I'm discussing these fucking stories. How much is Starlink? I have Starlink. It's I think it's $120 a month. I think I'd have to look at it. It started out as $99 a month, and then they bumped it up a while ago. But it's been like over 2 years since they did that. Empty Whiskey, thank you so much. Who says money? Yes, money, 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 money. I need to get Elizabeth Sweeney to do an ad for my channel. Be like, hey, I'm not a Nazi. Would you do an ad for me? Monkey has bad back. That Monkey has bad back. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. It's called a play on words, aka a dad joke. You know what a dad is if you had one. Which of 30 men who spunk saturated your mom's berry scent was she? Sorry. If you knew which of the 30 men who spunk saturated your mom's berry spunk, was she winning? The winning swimmer. Yeah, look, man, sometimes I do wonder how lucky we got that, like, there was worse sperm than this chick. There was worse sperm than this chick. Can you imagine if that sperm somehow bumped Chunky out of the way, what it would have been like? I mean, damn. Thank you, Tyrai. Answered, what's that say? Hang on. Sorry, guys. We are still, if you guys could type in caps, it would help me a lot. I don't mind if you don't want to, but when it comes to me reading these, I do apologize because of my eyesight. A gold watch der Führer's face didn't get joke. I feel like I missed the joke on that one. Saffron, thank you so much. The European robin in England's national Scotland is the gold eagle, and Walla's national bird is the red kite. I don't even know what a red kite is. And our bird could still kick all those birds' asses. Just saying. He blind. What'd I do now? Gold watched Der Führer's face didn't get joke. I don't understand. I feel like I missed something. I often do. Thank you, Shio. And frankly, I cannot see anything wrong with that ad, spokesman. Type not in caps. Thank you, Shio. I appreciate that.
Yikes. Also, American Eagle is mostly a brand that like teenagers to like young adults shop at. And so the fact that like this type of advertising is being used that feels so for the male gaze and so over sexualized.
I need y'all ladies to understand or help me out here. Help me understand this. Are you dressing for yourselves and therefore Monkey Asmongold watched a Donald Duck short with Hitler and did not get the joke? Oh, okay. Oh, why wouldn't it just let you say Asmongold? Anyway, where was I? Oh, is the male gaze something you want, and that's why you dress the way you do, or do you dress for yourselves and guys just happen to look and you have to put up with that? Second, though, more importantly, yes, people want to look good, and you sell clothing. I realize you probably shop at Moo Moo's R Us, so it doesn't matter what you wear because you're totally a dude. But most people, especially most young girls in the tween bracket going up through high school and into young adulthood, have the desire to look nice. They are very self-esteem focused. They want to look good and be admired by their peers. This isn't something new, and there's nothing sexual about those jeans. They're mom jeans, for fuck's sake. They're not even they're not even like hip huggers that she's wearing in those things. She's wearing mom jeans, and you're like, those are so hypersexual. Why would you try to sell those to kids? I bet you this fat bitch had no problem with the Balenciaga ad. She was probably like, just because they actually have child rape cases in there doesn't mean they're advocating sex with children. I don't know that she's like that, so I'm not going to put that on her. I take that back. Let's just deal with what she did say here. Over-sexualized. This is what she actually did say. So let's concentrate on that. Of the ads, there's only one of them that I think even crosses a ooh kind of line. And that's the second one she showed where Sweeney's on her back and she's doing up her jeans. And even then, I mean, it's not like there's a dude in the background doing up his jeans too when we know what they just finished doing. You know what I mean? She wasn't even naked. She wasn't even close to naked. She wasn't even close. Our national bird has won a war, can survive machine gun fire. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Speaking of the emu. How do you guys say it? Emu. It's not emu. It's emu. You got to add that U sound at the end, which is fucking weird. It's an emu. Your bird is awesome, but see, our bird is actually capable of flight, and they kick your emu's ass. Just because Australians couldn't fight them doesn't mean we couldn't. Just fucking with you. Is that actually your national bird? Because that would be funny as shit. I've seen the whole war against the emus many times, of course, because we talk about it. But is it your national bird? Because that's funny as shit. If it was. That's just the bird going, fuck you, we own this place. If Eagles did that here, we'd be screwed. All right. Chunky here finds a woman dressed. Even Sweeney's well-established cleavage is mostly hidden in these ads. They're front and center because she's Elizabeth. I keep seeing Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney's cleavage is on display, but not even like. Have you seen her on the red carpet where it's like if she sneezes, a nipple's gonna pop out? She's pretty covered in this thing. And again, mom jeans. We had a whole fad in this country where women were running around with their thong straps sticking out over their low-cut jeans. Do you think Chunky here was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're marketing that? Probably, because she probably doesn't like any attractive women.
It's like, I just don't like it. I don't like it even a little bit. Bro, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that this entire ad campaign that Sydney Sweeney is doing right now is incredibly reminiscent to the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein jeans ad campaign that she did when she was 14 years old.
This reminds me of something that it's not. Good one, I guess.
That was extremely over-sexualized and weird.
It was over-sexualized and weird because she was 14. If they had used an adult in that commercial, in that campaign, it wouldn't have been a problem. Would have still been some puritanical folks who were like, cannot believe that they have. Yeah, your fat ass probably would have been up there bitching through cheeseburgers that there was an attractive girl on the screen. But I'm getting ahead of her. Let me get these and then we'll get back to her and then I'll go back to my rant. Thank you, FB. The answer is they want it both ways. They want the male gaze and attention, but only for men they find attractive. Also, she's probably upset that the people in the ad are more attractive than her. She is 100% upset that Sydney Sweeney is way prettier than she is. And understatement, thank you. Unpopular opinion, but Sydney Sweeney is a 6 at best. She activates the catty instinct because she has things men may like, which causes the hype. Okay, this is going to get us into, we'll go down this for just a second, but it's going to get us into some trouble. When we rate people based on the 1 to 10 scale, nobody uses anything below 5. Nobody's like, oh, she's a 2. Maybe in back, do you remember the Hot or Not days? How many of you guys are old enough for Hot or Not? Maybe if you're doing something like that, but generally speaking, in public, when we're like, oh, she's a 6 or a 7, nobody ever's like, that's a 4. Our baseline is a 5, which is kind of weird because it starts at attractive already. 5 is the midline there. 5, between 5 and 6, because it's 1 to 10. So 5.5 is actually, or 5.5 is the midpoint, or 5. Fuck it. I'm not doing math in my head. So between 5 and 6 is your middle. That should be just normal. That is, she's not attractive. She's not unattractive. Sweeney is probably a 7 in her makeup, if we're being honest. She's not the most gorgeous girl, but Sweeney has something about her that some women have. I don't know if men have this because I'm not gay, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not attracted to men, but there are certain women that you see, like the chick on Grey's Anatomy. Not now because she's old as shit, but when she was first around, she's not really hot, but there's just something about her is like, I would totally do that. I would do that and brag about it. So our whole 1 to 10 system starts out skewed to begin with. I think she's, especially in her makeup, she's probably a 6 to a 7. She's not at the top, but she's also not ugly. And I don't think Marilyn Monroe was all that attractive. I think she was okay, but she had that something about her, and not just when she's singing Happy Birthday. There was just something about her like, oh yeah, I'd do that. And it's unquantifiable because it's not just big boobs. There's plenty of women with big boobs. This thing on the screen probably has big boobs. So it's not just that. It's something about the way they carry themselves, something about the way they look, that just resonates with a lot of guys. And those kind of women get a lot of shit from other women. They exude, it's not even exuding sexuality, but it exudes a desire to have sex. I don't know how to say it. It's not really swagger either, Libra. It's unquantifiable. It's a je ne sais quoi. Can't believe I just said something French. I'm so gay. It's just something about them that you can't put your finger on, and women recognize it. Men and women recognize it. Women hate it, and men just want to pound it. Anyway, that's going to cause all kinds of problems. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. Why are we referencing that? Why are we referencing that? I thought we agreed that that was weird that they had her do that.
Yeah, it was weird they had her do it because she was 14, fucker. That doesn't mean every ad in the rest of eternity that has a woman in jeans is referencing the Brooke Shields ad. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. Do you guys know about the Brooke Shields ad? Didn't they have her topless in that ad, if I remember? Isn't that one of the ones that that she was topless, but they had her boobies covered by like hair and stuff? We talked about an ad like that the other day. But the Brooke Shields ads were, Calvin Klein puts 14-year-old Brooke Shields in highly sexualized ads, and pretty much everybody went, this is gross. And it was gross because she was 14. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you. Maybe this chick is just jealous because Sweeney can lay on her back and still show side boob without them falling into her armpits. Perhaps. I don't think it even goes that deep. It's just Sydney Sweeney's too cute to be alive for somebody like this. Hunka burning love here. Saffron, thank you. The girl is a base 4, but attitude and the bullying through her nose tosses her down to a 3, maybe a 2.5. If you're talking about the one on the screen, She's probably a base 3. Let's just be honest. And it is because she's overweight. Some girls, when they get overweight, actually get more attractive. And I know people are going to, if Jack was here, no, yeah, actually, it's true. Full cheeks, not when you're getting to this level where it makes her head look like a pumpkin. So she's starting at like a base 3. And then when she starts talking, she throws in the nose ring and the smugness. She goes into negative digits. She goes into I wouldn't fuck you with a stolen dick area. Because goddamn, got the flag in the background. You touch this chick, you are catching a charge. I don't care if it's her running after you, trying to grab your junk. If she gets it, you're getting charged. Just saying.
So we got a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman talking about her good genes in an ad campaign that is a reference to a
My fucking internet's going to make me watch this bitch longer than I wanted to. Did I mention I'm already annoyed today? Hang on. I wonder if I can find Brooke Shields. Calvin Klein's jeans ad. Okay, this one we can bring up onto the screen. Whoops, I just want the picture, not the rest of it. There we go. So this is the campaign that she's comparing it to. This is a campaign that she's like, this is just like the Brooke Shields. Brooke Shields is 14 in this. Okay. If Brooke Shields was 20, 30, 60, this wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't. Okay, maybe 60. I can't believe they're doing this. She was 14. They have her with her shirt barely clasped together. Sweeney's shirt was all the way done. This is the ad that she's like, they're doing that ad. By the way, that kind of ad with a woman with a blank background and in jeans, that wasn't the first. Calvin Klein didn't invent that shit. I'm pretty sure that was Sears way back in the day. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Yeah, you'd get charged if you slept with her. Charged with bestiality. Don't have sex with farm animals, people. True. But not the charge I was talking about. Anyway, because of my bad internet, we got to listen to this bitch again.
Extremely over-sexualized and weird. Yeah. Why
Hi, Ellen. Say hi to your cat for me.
are we referencing that? Why are we referencing that? I thought we agreed that was weird that they had her do that. So we got a blonde hair, blue-eyed white.
Do you think it's just weird that they had a woman in a jean ad? All right.
Woman talking about her good genes in an ad campaign that is a reference to a 14-year-old Brooke Shields, Calvin Klein's ad campaign that we've all agreed was really weird and predatory.
It was predatory because she was 14. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like this one.
You don't like this one because it's got Sweeney in it and she's hot and you look like that. Let's just be real here. All right. We are to our Charlie Kirk video. Oh, I forgot to take it back. We're going to start it right. To our previous video, I'd just like to say, you need help. You're ugly and stupid, and it's not a good combination. You can be fat and nice. You can be fat and smart. You can be fat and funny. You can be fat and not be a drain on everybody's IQ. The problem isn't that you're fat. The problem is that you have your own self-esteem issues. And instead of dealing with those, you want to go after this company because, oh my God, they have a hot woman in an ad. Thank you, Cryptic. I have a strong urge to go whaling. Okay. So Charlie Kirk, fucking Cryptic. Charlie Kirk was on the campus of Boise State. Why? I don't know. I talked about this guy the other day, and I'm just going to reiterate what I said before. I'm not a big fan of Charlie Kirk. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I appreciate what he tries to do with his best Crowder / Ben Shapiro imitation. He goes out there and repeats some of the talking points I think people need to hear. He's not always sure why he's doing that, which leads to some interesting encounters. And sometimes he does more harm than good because he's not as smart as he should be to be having. He is not Ben Shapiro. Whatever you think about Ben is a smart guy. But he gets a lot of it right. And in this case, there's very little I'm going to be criticizing Charlie for. I haven't watched this whole thing. This is one of the things that popped up first when I turned on my internet this morning. Well, my internet was already turned on, but turned on YouTube. And I was like, I ain't checked in on Charlie in a while. So I started watching it, and Jesus, my God. You'll see in a minute. But I wanted to talk about this for the end of the second person we're going to watch. We're going to go through the entire insufferable nonsense from this tard. But first, we got to get this guy out of the way. Hang on.
They have these looking things coming up on skateboards. What is it, Charlie? You see, I got another super fan right there. You want to come up here? No, you're too afraid? Got it. Okay, next question. Is that?
Oh, wait, we missed. I didn't go back far enough.
Which way? First, go Broncos, everybody.
Here we go.
Charlie. If you were 5 inches in Elon Musk and Trump was 5 inches in you, which way are you moving? Which way are you moving, Charlie?
If Trump was in your butt and you were in Elon's butt, which way are you moving? You're gay. It's not even a good gay joke. You're gay. This is why I make gay jokes at liberals all the time, because they love to do them. They find them horrible if I do them, or if anybody on the conservative side of things makes a gay joke. But boy, do they love them. Boy, do they go to "you're gay" at the drop of a fucking hat. And so it's why I feed it back to them. Plus, I'm actually funny when I do it. But anyway, so there's him. That's his whole question is if you're inside. One, if you're going to make that gay joke, right, you need to, let me help you, all right? You're 2 inches into Elon and Trump's 2 inches. See, then you get a small dick joke in there too. You're giving him 5 inches. That's at least average based on the medical data we have. 5 to 7 is the average. So you gave him at least average, man. At least give him, you're an inch into one and he's an inch into you. I mean, at least there's a hint of a little, you're as far in as you can get at 1 inch. Yeah, dress it up, man. At least make the little dick joke while you're at it. They're repulsive. Oh, yes, they are. This one, though, doesn't even really offend me all that much, other than it's just not funny. Where's our chick? This poor bastard, he's getting up there to ask a real question, and he gets pushed aside for this walking STD farm. Look at how this bitch is dressed in public. Look, you guys can dress however you want to, but if you dress like this is literally a outfit that they would have put on a whore in an 80s movie, an actual street walking whore. This is just my style. You look like a whore. Shio, thank you. That joke was originally, you find yourself 5 inches in your mom and your dad 5 inches inside you. Which way do you move to get out? I've never heard that before, but it's weird. Biohazard, yes. Thank you, JB. So, Charlie, do your parents know you're gay? LOL. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, our STD farm here. I wanted to highlight her because I've dealt with people like this before. People who are on the left side and they're very angry about it. They hate Sweeney's jean outfit, right? Yeah, if this bitch was at least dressed like Sweeney, I wouldn't be calling her a whore right now. Did you see Modern Renaissance Man get a chance to ask a question of Charlie? I did not. I'll have to check that out.
Can I get you? So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? Why is that fact?
Do you see how we start off? Do we see how we start off there? It's not. So why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? She's opening with screaming. And it's not like the crowd is that loud. She opens with aggression. And this has been my experience with a lot of liberals, because they're very aggressive people. They're very angry people. I don't understand. Well, I kind of understand why. Their ideology and the way they live their lives is full of frustration and pain. So I guess I get it. But when you start out with, who's going to take you seriously? At this point, Charlie should just be like, get your crazy ass off the stage. Go away. Go away. But he's a nicer man than I am, because I would have started laughing when I saw the way she was dressed. I mean, you should come with one of those stickers that they put on yard sale stuff, telling us how much it is to bang you. It should just say $3.95 on your skin. And I know there's some people out there like, you shouldn't judge people by how they dress. Hi, Lady Monkey, I love you. But the reality is, this is what you're showing to the public. This is what you chose as your statement to the world. Like, look, I'm a whore. I believe you. Cryptic, thank you. That dude looks like he was bent over by a large, dominant woman with a large strap on, crying in a dark corner with his thumb in his mouth. Now, he had the Cruella de Vil hair. It was he did it two different colors, probably like an anime. They probably don't even know who Cruella is these days. He probably saw it in some anime, like, that would look cool if I had white and black hair. Yeah, fucking kids. Anyway, angry bitch got some more to say.
You, do you have something up your ass or something?
All right, let's get her whole question without me.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? Why is it affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Do you see she's in white lady pose here? I don't know how many of you guys watch, like, when we used to watch the riot videos and stuff, when the white woman would go get in the cop's face. She's got one foot slightly forward, and she's got her hand up doing that little, like she's Emerald trying to put some bam into her food. You see how she's doing that? That is a white lady aggression pose. And white lady, do you guys get trained on this shit? Because you're the only ones I see do this. Bam! Kick it up a notch. Where did this become a thing? Have white ladies always done this? I as a student of sociology, I am curious about this. How many of you white ladies in the audience right now do this? And stop it, please.
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people.
Charlie Kirk is a lot of things. Affecting change of our rights is not one of them. He may have some influence with some voters and stuff, but let's be honest here. He's a clown, and I don't mean that in a bad way. That's his job, is to get attention for himself and his causes. If he was actually affecting change, Trump would have never lost, and transgenderism never would have blown up, and abortion would have been gone a long time ago. I get what she's trying to get at here. You have a voice. Well, bitch, so do you. Go out there and use it and fight against what he says.
Read the Constitution.
What rights am I taking away?
I don't know if you guys caught that. If you're not watching the screen, somebody yelled at her from back there, told her to read the Constitution, and she flipped him off. In little white girl way too. She didn't even look at him. She just
Exactly.
You're trying to take away gender affirming care for individuals. You are affecting abortion rights. You are hurting people.
Look how mad she is. Look how angry. You're affecting abortion rights and trying to take away gender affirming care. We need to pause for our normal rant on this. And again, I want to thank Jordan Peterson because I hadn't thought about this till he said it. There is no doctor you should be going to who's going to be giving you affirming care. If you go to the doctor and you're like, I have this problem, I have pneumonia, and the doctor's like, you do have pneumonia. Let's affirm that. Yes, you do. Here, let's douse you in water and put you in an air-conditioned room to help that pneumonia along. Let's affirm it. You don't go to a doctor for affirmation. You go to a doctor for cures. And playing along with your delusion is not a cure. Stop calling it gender affirming care. That's not what it is. It's malpractice. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Keldred. You guys are so generous today. Thank you. Thank you. Keep giving. Charlie may or may not have something up his ass. He's almost certainly a closeted gay, but this lady definitely has something up her ass. Well, maybe not right now, but she did last night. The difference is Charlie enjoys it. This lady definitely does it. I doesn't. I think you have it backwards. I don't think Charlie's gay. I think he's a nerd, the old school kind of nerd who the only reason that he managed to find himself a wife is that he got famous. He may be a closet homo. I don't know. I don't really care. But for her, the real difference here is if Charlie were putting something in his butt, he'd know who was behind it. And I guarantee you, she does not know who's been sticking stuff in her butt. It's called a glory hole.
Got it. So what is a woman?
What is a woman? It's what people identify as, is a gender. Sex is different. Sex is different from gender.
Gender. Okay, even if we take, oh God, I fucking hate this stupid shit. Once again, gender and sex were interchangeable until the Tumblr years come around. They were used interchangeably in medical literature and anytime you were talking about sex. It starts with the people like John Money. It starts with the psychology. This is why I hate psychology so much. This is where this garbage started. Like, no, gender is your expression. Your expression of what? So let me even give you that gender is your expression of what? Well, it's your expression of your sex. Not your imaginary sex, your actual sex. Your gender is an expression of your sex, even by your nonsensical usage of those two terms. So it's still based on your sex, dummy.
So can anyone be a woman?
Yes.
Anyone can be a woman. There you go. There's no arguing. If you want to be, I saw a really stupid thing the other day. A gender activist made the argument that they were a biological woman because even though they were born a man, they're a woman and they're a biological organism. Therefore, they are a biological female. I'm like, fuck. Science means nothing. I have a healthy respect for real science because real science is how we advance as a species. It's how we've gotten to the moon. It's how we've extended the life expectancy. It's how we cut infant mortality. But it's also used by retards to push nonsense like this. And like, no, biology's not a real thing. Fuck right off. This is the STEAM instead of STEM nonsense because they put girls. Forcing women into STEM was a bad idea. Like, we need to get girls into STEM. STEM is logical. STEM follows a pattern. It's repeatable. There's no emotion in STEM. 2 + 2 is 4, no matter how you feel about 4. 2 + 2 is 4, no matter if you think 5 should identify as 4 or not. STEM isn't for women. Women can come into STEM. And there's a lot of women who do really good in STEM fields. But when you're pushing your gender activist nonsense and being like, we got to get all these girls into STEM, and all you're doing is pushing even more emotion into highly logical things, you're just setting science back. You're setting progress back. And I'm not talking political progress. I mean actual scientific progress. Because, oh my God, that feels bad. Fuck you. Your feelings have no business in STEM. Tansu, thank you so much. In the words of Mr. Ruckus, Uncle Ruckus's father, this is why they shouldn't let dumb bitches read psychology books. Well, what Ruckus got wrong there is that psychology books were written for women.
At what point do you know you're looking at a woman?
Doesn't matter when you are looking at a woman. You don't have to look at a woman and immediately tell. Can you tell looking at a baby what gender they are without looking at their privates?
No. Most of the time you can't. Have big round faces and the things that define us as men and women, you don't get to until you're a little later in life. Hoko, thank you for becoming a member for month number 8. As the WNBA has been pushing, let her cook, aka get her back in the kitchen. Are they really doing that? Is that really one of their slogans? Because that would be fucking epic. Where were we? Oh, I love that she has to go back to, without looking at a baby's junk, can you tell what it is when the question is, what is a woman? Look, transes is out there, okay? Some of you pass. As long as you don't look real hard. Like even Blair White before the facial surgery, which made Blair look more manly than she looked before. But if you actually paid attention to the facial structure, yeah, it's a dude. And I guarantee you, if you took off the makeup, like, yeah, that's a dude. You can't tell. Well, we have certain markers like hip ratio. That's a thing. Even in skinny bitches, very few of them are so skinny that there's not a hip ratio difference between men. Shoulder. There's tons of markers besides just your junk that go, yeah, that's a woman. Are there exceptions? Yeah. Are some of the things stuff that you would have to, like be buried for 1,000 years and they dig you up and go, oh, that was a woman. Yeah. Your skeletal system. But by and large, yes, we can tell men from women. And a bigger question though is, why would you be trying to hide what you are? Because I've yet to see a trans person, a trans woman, who isn't wearing a shit ton of makeup. Even if you look at the really ugly, obvious ones, like it's ma'am, that dude, even they tried to put on some makeup to make themselves look different. They don't just look feminine. They have to try to look feminine. Granted, a lot of them don't make it, but they have to try to look feminine. Why? Because they're not feminine. Thank you, Dangerous Spaces. A woman is someone who identifies as one, but what are they identifying as if they are identifying as something? There are still characteristics with which you are identifying. Well, that's the other thing, is that they never answer that question. They go into the circular logic, like, what's a woman? What's somebody who identifies as a woman? Yeah, but what are they identifying as? As a woman. That's not, if I ask you, what is a ham sandwich? A ham sandwich is, at the very least, 2 pieces of bread with ham inside. You don't just, what's a ham sandwich? Well, it's a ham sandwich. Yeah, but I want to make one. How do I make a ham sandwich? What is a ham sandwich? Well, it's a ham sandwich.
Tell me that.
Sometimes.
What about that baby is different?
But hold on.
What about that baby is different? I mean, honestly, not a lot. It's usually in the toddler years where you really can start to see the facial changes and stuff. Mostly it's how we dress them. But why do you take out the part about except for their genitals? Because at that point, that is how you tell. It's how they tell when you come out of the womb. And they're like, oh, it's an innie. That's a girl. Oh, it's got an outie. That's a boy. Hair hasn't really grown yet. The face hasn't filled out the way it will eventually. Very few of us look like our infant. Do any of you guys have your hospital pictures? Have you seen them when you're first born? How many of you look like that? I don't. I don't look anything like that. But you look at me at 2, same fucking face. I was just bald still, so it's a big old bean head. I was so cute. I was so cute. If your nuts, Saffron, thank you. If your nuts behind has a cock hanging between your legs, I don't want you in my female spaces. You're a man. Yeah. But they don't. Hey, how dare you? My gender. How about this? Bathrooms, if you want to do this stuff and have your nonsensical gender thing, fine. Then these spaces should be based on sex. Same with sports and the various other things like bathrooms. They're sex-based. There you go. They don't want to do that, though, because gender's important. But why is she's concentrating on the baby? Because this is one of the few places where you can go, yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell that that's a... Look at Bruce Jenner. Sorry, Caitlyn Jenner. Anybody, if you've never heard of Bruce Jenner, look at Caitlyn Jenner and not go, that might be a man. That might be a dude.
By the time they're 6 months old, you could actually tell a young boy tends to gravitate more towards balls and remotes.
That's because it's gender affirming. That is convincing.
That is not true. That is absolutely not true. This is some nonsensical shit that these idiots have come up with over the years. Where no, the only reason boys like playing with G.I. Joe is because you give them G.I. Joe. You know what they've found when they've raised kids, like young boys, they've raised them to be gay. They're like, here, you just gonna play with Barbies. They end up playing with the Barbies in an aggressive way and fighting them and having them beat each other up. And girls, you give them G.I. Joe and they make little families out of them. Bad argument from Charlie. Well, he does that a lot. Just stick to the XXXY for 99% of people. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the problems I have with Charlie is that he doesn't always make the best arguments. Even when what he's saying makes sense, he is one of these people, and I've seen him do this before, where he kind of does a Kamala from 60 Minutes, where he'll give an answer that's a good answer, but not to the question that was asked. Or to the statement that was made to him, whichever way it goes. I've seen him do this repeatedly watching these things. And yeah, it's why I'm not a big fan of his. Anyway.
Individuals at a young age, you are socializing, putting them in situations where they want certain different things.
Look how much that booing affected her. Look how much that hang on.
They want certain different things.
Look at that white girl face. She is so offended that they're not all going, oh my God, she's the smartest thing ever. Look, there's some truth to the socialization stuff. There's some nature versus nurture is a thing that comes down on both sides. Which one is more important? It really depends on the child. It depends on the brutality involved. I know that's not something people want to hear, but I mean, certain cultures are very fucking brutal, and so they're forced into different paths. But that's not something here in the West. How many times have you heard, I can't come out as trans because my parents will kick me out of the house? How often does that actually happen in America? Most people, even conservatives, are accepting of this kind of nonsense. Most are, because not everybody's out there wanting to cause a fight every day. So, yeah, whatever. But no, you're forced into being a boy. No, we gravitate towards different things. Somebody's manager's about to be called. Yeah, no shit, right? Excuse me. God, why? Okay, I'm sorry to the white girls in the audience because I'm sure most of you are not like that. But there are enough white girls who are like this that it makes me ask, why are they like this? Ugh.
So let's say you were a little kid.
I do wonder, because by her own rhetoric right there, she is entirely influenced by her social, the social life she grew up in. Who, in your growing up to become this person, who turned you into a dirty whore? Because you're wearing streetwalker clothes, baby. When you were a little girl, you were just like, I really love hookers. Where'd that come from in your life? I'm very curious. Inquiring mind. I don't know your name. I don't think you gave it, but if you're in Boise State watching this and you know her, ask her that for me if you would. Ask her who influenced her as a child to be a whore.
Kid, and your parents taught you to like pink. Let's actually look back in time. Pink actually used to be a male color instead of blue.
Pink used to be a male color instead of blue. This is some stuff that has come up over the years, and I don't know, honestly, the nonsense with this. But let's say it did. Fashions change. There you go. Fashions change. And you can, I guess your point is that we're socialized to like pink or blue, and that's fine. Okay, let's say we are. Does that change that most girls these days like pink stuff? Does that change it at all? That blue is the color we do for boys. Oh my God, that means boys don't actually prefer blue to pink? Even if you're just going to point and say that it's societal, okay. But what about when you get older? This is a true story. When my daughter was younger, she didn't like pink. She rejected girlhood when she was a girl. My very girly girl, which is funny as shit. And as she's grown up, she's gotten more into liking pink and girly things. My daughter, when she was little, when she was a baby, would cry if we put her in a dress. And we put her in a couple of dresses before we realized that's what it was that was making her cry. She hated dresses. And then by the time she gets into high school and stuff, she likes them. I guess it was society that did that training to her. People's tastes can change. So if people's tastes can change and pink is just forced on them, where has been the correction of that? Where have been the girls just latching on to a new color, fuchsia, cyan, whatever? Where's that change? You know what happened when they tried mixing all the boys and girls stuff like in toy aisles and stuff? Sales went down. You can't, no, you're conditioning girls to want that. Okay, you mixed everything together and gave the girls the choice, and they were like, I don't want none of this shit. Given the choice, girls are going to play with dolls. You should see all of my granddaughters, all of them. And it's not something that has been put into their head. All of them love babies. Baby dolls, oh my God, they go crazy for baby dolls. They also all seem to like Spider-Man, which probably is their grandfather's influence. Although my daughter's middle child, she's probably the one that I've had the least influence of the older three grandchildren. I saw her the least. They'd already moved downstate by then. So my influence in the Spider-Man thing, nothing to do with it. Now, the older one and my son's older one, Grandpa may have pushed some Spider-Man on them. But the middle one loves Spider-Man. She's actually growing out of her Spider-Man phase, but nobody pushed that shit on her. It's what she liked. But she also loved baby dolls. She loves cats. Thank you, JB. She's big mad clouded judgment she has. LOL. Yoda. Gotcha. I'm not going to do the Yoda voice. My throat actually hurts. I've been a little bit sick, you guys. But yeah, she is big fucking mad. The kind of things that we like, is some of it society based? Sure. But is that an overall statement you can make about men and women and boys and girls? No.
In what world?
Especially when you're talking about something like what color do you like, because men are far more visual than women are. Anyway, I love My Little Pony and Lego. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of crossover, but there is a general area where girls go and boys go. That's just, and especially how we play with the toys that we play with.
Actually, in the 1920s.
So you say that I'm here to take people's rights away.
Yes.
That is your main contention.
Yes, because
Right.
you are affecting the LGBT. You are affecting women's rights. If I was pregnant, oh wait, let's go back to this. Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion.
My internet didn't die, my brain did. If I had a cyst, okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say she meant removing the cyst on her uterus would be an abortion. What in the actual fuck are you talking about? No, it wouldn't. If I had a cyst on my, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she actually thinks having a cyst is an abortion and not removing it would be the abortion. But in either case, no, it wouldn't. That's retarded, and you should feel bad for saying that publicly. Babies are cis confirmed. Yeah, no shit. They're cisgendered. See what I did there?
Yes, it
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at,
That-
okay, anything that is evolving the uterus,
Well, no. In order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
no. Anything that is
Yes.
evolving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
No.
Thank you, Dangerous. The frustrating thing is when boys gravitate to typically girl things or vice versa, people like this dumb bitch will often say, clearly they are trans as they like opposite sex things. Oh, yeah. And especially with her trying to make, you're hurting trans people. They love that things are gendered when they can use it to show that now, look, they're transgendered. But toys aren't gendered. No. The clothes aren't gendered. No. But it does make you trans if you gravitate towards that totally gender non-conforming thing. I hate these people. Anything that you remove from the uterus is considered an abortion is among the dumbest goddamn things I've ever heard. And I've argued with a lot of abortion supporters. This is nonsensical. This is her misunderstanding the argument that they actually make. See, the argument that she's trying to make here is that any removal of a fetus or zygote or whatever stage it's at is an abortion. And that technically, and we'll get to this in a second, I'm using air quotes when I say technically a miscarriage is an abortion. It's language that is used in medical terminology where they like if you have a miscarriage that it is like, I remember when we went through our miscarriage, my wife was offended that the paperwork said abortion on it. But it is not an elective abortion. That's what we're talking about. When we say abortion in this country, we are talking colloquially. We are talking in general language rather than in specific medical terminology, which is funny because these people love to talk about fetuses and zygotes and anything but baby. Anything, and we're not killing a baby, it's a clump of cells. They love to get very scientific on that. But when you're talking about abortion, the only time they get scientific is when they're trying to say that you aborted your child if you had a miscarriage. And that's it's not true. It's not what they call it. What is it? A DNC? Is that what it is? Fuck, I forget the terminology, but like, let's say the baby develops on the fallopian tubes. This is a very dangerous thing, and they have to go in and take the baby out. Although they have done transplants before. I know people don't like that, but that is true. But the easiest thing to do is just like, that's not viable, and take it out. And it is technically classified as an abortion procedure, but not the abortion procedure we're talking about when we talk about abortion in general. Those are elective abortions. And the whole reason for it is because it's going to make it so you don't make a hit song, Goat Lady. Spontaneous abortion is the term for a miscarriage. Yeah, that is the terminology for it. And that's what they cling to. See, they're trying to stop any kind of care for women because this is an abortion. No, we're talking about elective abortion, and you damn well know about it. You damn well know what you're talking about, and you're just trying to confuse things, because otherwise you would make sure that you specified elective abortion the way that you specify spontaneous abortion. Not Keister, or was it Keister? No. Whoever said that, I wasn't saying that to you. I was saying it to these people who like to only get scientific when it suits them. Anyway, Miss, I had a cyst in my uterus, so I had an abortion. She goes on.
No, that's
Yes,
that's not how it works. So again, you say I'm here to take.
See, Charlie he changes the subject right there. She is being stupid, and you should have taken care of this. You should have beat her over the head with this part. And this is why I don't like you, because he wants to change this back, because he has a topic or a point he wants to make, because she said he's taking rights away. She has a genuine misunderstanding of her own uterus. You're not going to get through to somebody like that. And I get it. It's fun for clicks and stuff, and it's fun for the engagement. But if you're going to be doing that and highlighting her for the engagement part of it, then engage that stuff. Engage how retarded she's being here. Demand proof that a cyst on the uterus being removed is considered a fucking abortion. It's not.
Abortion.
No, that's not how it works. So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No, but let's go back. Do you think every human being has a...
I wanted to get that part in there. I don't know if you guys heard the chick in the background yelled, "You're a clump of cells." Yes, we are all clumps of cells. We are. Because there's another one of those where hey, shh. We're only going to get scientific and call it a clump of cells when we're talking about it in the uterus. Literally, we're all clumps of cells. Plants are clumps of cells. Living beings are all clumps of cells. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a clump of... They say this to dehumanize it. The whole abortion industry is about dehumanizing. It's why they say, oh, it's a fetus, not a baby. Because if you call it a fetus, then it's a scientific thing and not human thing. They get very, very scientific when they're trying to suck the humanity out of humans. But see, you can't convince people to kill babies if you call them babies. If they were honest about this and said, hey, we think women should be able to kill their babies in the womb, you'd get a lot less people on board. You have to take away the humanity of it, because just as a species, you don't have to be taught that we need to protect human life. It's an instinct. Thank you, JB. This lady is dumb and makes my brain hurt. Oh, we haven't even got to the full dumb yet. I don't know if we will, because this is already taking me. I didn't expect I should have, but I didn't expect the 2.5 minute video to take almost 40 minutes. Why didn't I expect that? I know me pretty well. I should have. These probably should have been on separate shows. Anyway, because this lady goes on for like 10 minutes or so.
Right to life.
Depending on how many weeks, but let's...
So wait, hold on. Who's trying to take rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings.
Isn't that such a white lady thing to do? No. He's just giving an answer, and she's like, no. I expected that. Maybe next time I need to ask you guys, how long do you think... I used to do that. Why don't I do that anymore? How long do you think this one will take? All right, moving along.
You call them a clump of cells. Who's trying to take rights away? Exactly.
So when is it a human being?
Okay, so he starts off by asking, is life a right? And life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is what the Declaration says. Life, liberty, and due process is another one that we hear often. Life is always in that right thing, right? You have a right to XYZ, and life is always there. Unless it's a clump of cells, up to a certain couple of weeks, then no, she doesn't believe in the right to life. Sorry, guys, my throat is so dry. Which is fine. You're just a horrible fucking person. But at least have some kind of consistency. Have something. I didn't expect to analyze a video like Ranting Monkey. Shut up, Dangerous. Go sit in the corner. Go find Frosted and go sit in the corner with him. How dare you point out my own stupidity?
In your mind, when is it a human being in your mind?
Well, it's not even on my mind. Human development objectively begins at conception.
At conception. So even if I had a miscarriage, what are you going to say about that?
It's a tragedy.
I don't even understand what that argument was. If I have a miscarriage, what are you going to say? Whore, you killed your baby. No. If you had a miscarriage and you didn't do it, look, there are people who go out of their way to do things that are harmful to their child in utero. But generally speaking, most people, when we talk about them having a miscarriage, it's because they wanted a child. It's because they wanted a kid. And it's a sad thing. Nobody's throwing a miscarriage party. Nobody's like, hey, we're going to have the whole family together. We're going to get some cake and ice cream because Beulah had a miscarriage. Thank God we don't have to pay for that little shit. Rainbow Not So Bright. Hoary Rainbow Not So Bright. Let's get her full name in there. This is another one that the abortion people love, is like a lot of fertilized eggs don't even make it to the baby stage because a lot of times it doesn't happen. Women don't even know that the egg got fertilized. It took it the wrong time. The lining's getting ready to slough off anyway, and so a fertilized egg makes it into the sanitary napkin or onto the tip of your cotton dildo you stick in there, and there's no thought for it because we didn't know. But that doesn't mean that conception hadn't happened. And once it starts growing, very few people have a miscarriage and are like, yeah, I'm so happy, let's go miscarriage. And nobody is out there going, oh, she miscarried, fucking bitch killed her baby. Unless, of course, they're doing stupid shit like, smoking crack. But, normal person gets pregnant. She's happy to be pregnant. Something goes wrong. She carries. And the human thing's like, holy shit, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And this twat's like, what are you going to say if I miscarry? Same thing I've said about everything else you've said so far. And that's, you're fucking crazy. And you're kind of a whore. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Tragedy?
Yes.
Okay, then let's talk about, what if it's affecting the woman or anybody who is pregnant in this situation? What if they're going to die and they have to get an abortion? That's the only way they're going to live. Are they going to be over?
Well, hold
on. Charlie, why did you bleep fucked right there? That's weird. You didn't bleep the guy asking the question about being 2 inches in or 5 inches into to Elon and 5 inches of Trump in you, but don't say the word fuck. Fucking hell. I understand self-preservation. But if there's any chance for the child, then a mother would do what she can for her child. And Charlie's going to kind of hit on this and jump away from it. But the Ben Shapiro argument of if, let's say, okay, life of the mother, we'll give you that one. How many is that? We because of Dobbs, oddly enough, we actually had more abortions after Dobbs. Dobbs is the decision that reverses Roe. After Dobbs, we've had more abortions than the year before Dobbs is decided. We were on track for what gets reported. Not all of the numbers are reported, but using the numbers that they've used through Clinton, you have about 1 million abortions a year, and it starts dropping. And we get down to about 600,000 a year, which is still fucking gross. But then Dobbs happens, and supposedly you can't get an abortion anymore in the United States. You've made it illegal. You've taken away the right. And somehow that number almost doubles. It goes up by, 60%? It goes from 600,000 to over 1 million? Did healthcare get so bad that suddenly 400,000 women were in danger of dying? No. But more people just ran and got their uterus sucked out instead of having to deal with the consequence of their actions. Because that's the majority of abortion. The majority of abortion, by a long shot, is just convenience abortion.
But just so we're clear, that's only a couple thousand cases a year.
No.
And so yes, it is.
Have you
Yes,
seen
it
how
is.
many individuals have already died because they haven't been able to get abortion care?
So far that we've seen, nobody has died because they couldn't get abortion care. We have a couple of cases where some doctors may have let people die because they refused to give the care that they were allowed to give. But none where some bitch is like, oh my God, I can't have an abortion. I guess I got to let this grow on my fallopian tubes and die. It's nonsense. We make all the hanger jokes around here. Do you know how much hanger abortion really happened? Like, not at all. The backroom ones, like, if you guys ever seen Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, I had the time of my life. What the fuck is that movie? Shit. Anyway, Penny in that movie gets a back alley abortion. Though that shit wasn't really happening all that much. Even Roe in hers, that's not what happened. Dirty Dancing. Thank you guys. I love that I can just sing to you guys to tell you what I'm trying to say. I had the name and then I went to say it and my brain went, Anyway, that shit was not happening en masse. It's very much like the bra burning thing. You guys know the bra burning thing is a falsity, right? The majority of women did not burn their bras. There was like one protest and 8 women burned their titty holders. It's the kind of thing that gets into the lexicon, though, like the hanger abortions, and in this case, like all these women dying of abortion from not getting an abortion. It's not happening. It's not happening.
In the life of the mother can be put aside as something that needs to be considered. However, it's not always necessary. But let's talk about the main thing, because there's over 1.5 million abortions every single year that don't.
That's not true if he's talking about in the United States, unless the newest numbers have come out and that's jumped drastically. Sorry, Charlie. I just gave you guys the numbers. It was like 660,000 in the year before Dobbs. The year after Dobbs, it jumped to just over 1 million. Maybe I just haven't read the newest stuff. But if that is true, that means it more than doubled. In the country where they took away your right to have an abortion. Fucking lovely.
Involve rape, incest, or life of the mother. 1.5 million.
Yes,
but let's just ask you a very simple question. When does human life begin?
When does human life, in my personal opinion, is going to start around the second trimester, a little more farther along. But let's get.
By the way, by the second trimester, the baby already has a heartbeat. This is one of those arguments that they had before with the heartbeat bill and all of that, because if you can detect a heartbeat, you know why they focus on the heartbeat one? It's because they can no longer call it a clump of cells when there's an organ inside beating. It's still a clump of cells if you're being honest, but 1,038,100 in 2024. Yeah, that sounds more correct. Thank you, Dangerous, for checking that for me. Over 1.5 million. That is not a number that's even been close for decades.
To this, most individuals that are having abortions are going to be mothers that cannot afford it. They usually have.
Wait. Even by your own telling, that most of it is just women being like, I can't afford it. This is going to be a burden to me. Okay, why are you making the point about a woman almost dying? Is there a woman out there who couldn't afford the baby and it killed her? Because that would be an interesting story for you guys to tell. But do you see how they do this? They jump all around instead of arguing just one point. Suddenly, she's given like 4 different points already, trying to just answer the question of when life begins. If you can't open your wallet, close your legs. Yeah, no. Man Squatch. This is going to come up in this argument. I have watched this already, guys. But the whole notion that women should have any responsibility is no. There was a big argument back in the 90s about who's responsible for birth control. Who's responsible for birth control? The politically correct answer is both parties. Both parties are responsible for birth control. If you're sorry about that. Just my internet keeping me in check, making me remember that I'm on shitty internet. It's not shitty internet. It's Starlink. It's actually good internet. It's just not great for streaming because of the trees in my yard. I need to have a fundraiser to cut down all my trees. Anyway, back in the 90s, there was a big argument about who is responsible for birth control, whether it should be men or women. If you're a man, you should absolutely be doing your best not to get a woman pregnant if you're not trying to get her pregnant. However, when it comes down to it, who is going to have the biggest burden of having that baby? Look, yeah, a guy might end up having to pay for it for the next 18 years, but during the pregnancy, his chances of dying of the pregnancy revolve around him pissing off the mother. He's not going to have internal bleeding from getting her pregnant. He's not going to have to push out the baby because he got her pregnant. Physically, it's all on the woman. And if I'm the woman, that makes it my responsibility. But making that argument like, hey, look, both in a perfect world, both should be responsible for birth control. But the person, especially physically for the next 9 months, who's going to have to deal with this, they should probably be the one who is most responsible for it. No, women are, no. There's shared responsibility. If I'm a woman, I'm going to make birth control my priority if I don't want to get pregnant. And instead of teaching women this, like, hey, if you don't want to get pregnant, take all of these precautions, and pushing that, we as a society went, hey, they're both responsible, okay? They're both responsible. All right, but who's going to pay for it the most in the next 9 months? Who has the chance of dying in childbirth? I guarantee you it's not him. But hey, no, women cannot have more responsibility than men. Cryptic, thank you. I'd vote for TC to date her to keep her in check. Who's TC? Tyson Chicken. Who's TC? All right, anyway.
I've already 2 to 3 kids and a lot of time.
So
they already have 2 to 3 kids and they can't figure out what's making the 2 to 3 kids? Weird.
So it's acceptable to be able to murder your young if all of a sudden you don't have the money to support them. That you can murder.
See, this is one of those. Oh, in chat. Okay. Oh, that TC. Okay, I see. I like Tyson Chicken. I think that works. This is where their argument always falls apart, right? And this is why they have to dehumanize it when it's in utero. because their argument, oh, she just can't afford it. Okay, what happens if a mom living in a trailer park, she got 8 kids and she can't afford them, and so she kills 4 of them? Is that okay because she couldn't afford them? Well, no, because that's a living child. That's why they have to dehumanize it and do it before the child is born. This gives them the sense that they're not actually killing a child. The fact that left to its own devices, a pregnancy will produce a child. No. We don't talk about that because it's not a living thing yet. We've actually sucked all of the humanity out of it. And let's not forget, this was so Margaret Sanger could kill black people. She wanted to keep the black population down, and she got her wish. But we never talk about that. Well, liberals never talk about that. They don't like to bring up that, yeah, they've decimated the black population in the United States, cut it in half with their, life of the mother bullshit. You think it's a coincidence that the abortion argument blows up really big right after the civil rights or after the civil rights movement? That we get Roe in 72, 73, right after we've had the Civil Rights Act of 64 go through, after we see black people starting to get their rights. And suddenly it's like, we need an abortion center in every black neighborhood. Totally coincidental, guys. Totally coincidental.
Your offspring if you're poor.
So in the first couple weeks, even though it's still not fully developed, doesn't even have a heartbeat, doesn't even have brain
Development
activity.
does not equal dignity. A human being is a human being regardless of the process of development that it is in. Period. And so who's trying to take rights away? I actually want more human beings to
Then
be
why
born.
are you affecting LGBT?
Well, hold on. We're talking.
She did bring up LGBT first, and you're the one who switched it over to abortion, so whatever. Well, I mean, I guess she kind of did because he asked because he was offended at her question and him taking away rights. But anyway, I wish he would have addressed this. I wish he would have went back to the LGBT thing, because at this point, the arguments have been made. He has an overall point he's trying to get at here, and it is a good point. But the overall point is that he's trying to take people's rights away, and that one is even easier to make the case. He's trying to say he wants to give more rights by having more people born, and that's actually not giving more rights. That's giving more people the same rights that already exist. It's a bad argument, and she's not smart enough to catch that. So we'll let that part go. But it is frustrating to me because I think the other argument would be more interesting, especially with Rainbow Ho here.
Let me finish on abortion. I want more human lives, which, by the way, hilariously, would be more women would be born, because the right to life is paramount. You're trying to take rights away because you're okay with the massacring of little humans. Back to
and with it, I really wish you would have brought up the race point. More women would be born, sure. Do we know how many? No, because they don't do a survey to see how many of the killed are boys or girls. We can assume it's going to be about 50% because the birth rate runs out that way. But when it comes to taking away rights, I mean, literally, you're talking about trying abortion. I don't care what you idiots have been told. Go look it up. Abortion was pushed to keep black people in place. It was to keep their population down. And those savages, there's too many of them. They're going to make the white people bad. It's going to ruin everything. Quick, kill their babies. Well, we can't say it that way, Margaret. Planned Parenthood. We need to Planned Parenthood. Fuck you. The whole thing has been a lie since the beginning. And you want to talk about taking away rights? You don't think, where's all the genocide talk? You know, we oh my God, there's a genocide in the Gaza. What about the attempted genocide of black people in the United States? I'm not talking about 1619. I'm talking about a fucking abortion. Just by numbers. the black population would be double, at least right now, if every black baby that was ever aborted was born. The population would be double. But hey, you want to protect people's rights, by keeping their population low, so that you feel safe in an elevator, you fucking whore.
LGBT.
It's been going throughout history, though. Abortion has been a big thing for a long time, and it affects people.
So
abortion has been a big thing for a long time. That's actually not true. Saffron, thank you. Why don't you wait until you are financially able to have kids? Two things. One, if you wait till you're financially able to have kids, you're probably not going to have kids. But more importantly, they never think about that. Kids are stupid, okay? It's what helps humanity survive. Is the kids are dumb. Because if you put thought into it and you'd be like, oh, wait, we can't afford this. And you wouldn't do it. But whether you believe in evolution or God, something made sex feel so good that we're like, come on, you're probably not going to get pregnant. And bam, the species continues. Thank you, Chris. My wife was super hot when she was this. Sorry, excuse me. My wife was super hot when she was thick a month after our daughter arrived. I don't even know how to address that statement. Are you saying she's not hot now, or that she wasn't hot before? Congratulations. You like the post-pregnancy? My wife was so cute when she was pregnant. So adorable. I had a lot of fun with my wife when she was pregnant. That's not true. I'm not going to tell you all about my sex life with my wife, but my wife was very cute when she was pregnant. I love her pregnancy pictures. I think pregnant women are usually adorable. I think there's something to that pregnancy glow. Anyway.
Hurts people.
So as murder and slavery and child sacrifice,
That is completely different.
Child sacrifice is completely different. I love that. One, the abortion argument hasn't been going on forever. I mean, it's been touched on throughout history, but not the way that it blows up in the 20th century America, which is why we still talk about abortion now. Because even in the old days, where if it did happen, it was not. It's kind of like whoring. Everybody knew it happened, but it was kept on the down low, and most people didn't do it. But in the 20th century, with the rise of feminism, it became a human right to kill other humans in the womb. And that's why we still talk about it today. Good morning, Monkey. Good morning, Looney. How are you today? Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, so this is another one of those things they like to do. They do this with trans. Anything that they're trying to justify, like it's been going on forever. How was it looked at socially forever? How has it been treated throughout time? You never talk about that. Because if it was just the open acceptance that we hear it is, you'd have some kind of example of it other than, well, there's this one time where it was brought up in Jewish law, because these things weren't happening all the time, because you used to have things like shame and fuck. Even if you go back to the 60s, some chick gets knocked up in high school and she disappears. She has to go live with her aunt in Vermont and nobody ever talks about her ever again. We used to have shame in this society. And I'm not saying that all shame, like, look, you made a mistake if you got knocked up as a kid. And by kid, I mean, like I did, me and Lady Monkey, we were underage when we got pregnant the first time. I'm not proud of that. I'm proud of my daughter. I'm proud of how we dealt with it. But us actually being dumb and putting ourselves in that position, that's not something to be celebrated. That's not something that we should be like, it's no big deal. It was a big fucking deal. We made a mistake that changed the entire course of our lives. And it's just through perseverance that we've gotten to where we are. I would not recommend doing it that way to anyone. It's the hard way. But that doesn't also mean that you need to ship them off to another state and, never talk about that. Technically, since we all start as girls and then become boys after the fact, technically all the early abortions are girls. Fair enough. It depends on how early in the process.
No, it is murder. Okay, so let me ask you a question then.
So I don't know if you heard what was going on there in the background. One of the people brought up slavery, and she said, "Are you comparing slavery to abortion?" And the lady said yes, and she said, "Oh, you're fucked." Well, they did both target black people. They led to a lot of death and misery for black people. I feel like it's a decent enough comparison.
Fine. What is murder?
What is murder? Are you going to be talking about first-degree murder, like homicide, like having the intent to kill a person, having the intent to kill somebody? But
Wait,
I'm just saying
so
a clump of cells,
right?
But a clump of cells is different.
Hold on, time out. If it's
a clump of cells is different. There it is again. Logical Male, thank you. I pray to God Almighty that all universities be abolished like the Department of Education, which is why this bimbo is on the mic. Yeah, it's amazing the crowd that he pulled here. It's probably because he's at Boise State. He's in Idaho, so you're not talking a liberal stronghold. And even there, this pops up. Why? Because all universities push their liberal bullshit. And it is a problem that you can't have conservative teachers. And the left will tell you, hey, liberal teachers get fired far more than conservative teachers. Yeah, for touching children or being completely outrageous. The problem is that most of them don't get kicked out for being outrageous because the outrageous things they say aren't considered outrageous. Things like communism is kind of a good thing. Any professor, by all means, teach communism, but teach what it actually is. Teach the reality of communism. They never do that shit. But look at the whole, since we're on abortion, look at how abortion is taught. Abortion used to be a right. No, it wasn't. Abortion was never a right. That was a bullshit. Unless you want to make the same argument that segregation was a right. Unless you want to make the argument that separate but equal was a right that was taken away from us. Because both are decided by the Supreme Court. Our actual rights are written into our constitutions and our laws, and abortion was not, ever. But for 50 years, they told women, you have a right to an abortion. And that's why we're in the state we're in right now. You have abortion rallies. You have people arguing like this lady. Hey, I have a fundamental right. You're trying to take away my rights. It's my body. It's not your body. That clump of cells in there is another body. That it hasn't taken its full human form yet doesn't mean, and Charlie's going to get to this, and it's one of the few good points he actually does make. It is developing. Human development starts at conception. That is just factual. Without the conception, there's no development. The sperm bounces off the uterine wall or goes down her throat, whatever. And there's no human development. It does start, whether you want to say life starts at conception or not, human development undeniably starts at conception. But this is what clump of cells. Clump of what cells? And they're going to get into this, so I'm getting ahead. Let's go ahead.
Clump of cells. What species is it?
There we go.
What species is it?
Wait.
What species?
This. It depends. Whatever's going to be pregnant, whatever you're trying to abort.
Is it a home?
See, she tries to change the subject because we know we're talking. She's the one that brings up it's a clump of cells. What does she bring it up a clump of cells for? Talking about abortion, and human abortion. Nobody's talking about seals getting abortions over here. So instead of just addressing the point and being like, oh, it would be a human clump of cells. It depends on what's pregnant. It depends. It's such a bullshit argument kind of thing. Like, I'm guessing she used to watch Destiny in 2016.
A sapien, a crocodile, or a raccoon? Which one is it? What species is it? Oh, wait, so if it's a human clump of cells, then it's a human life deserving of human rights. And the first right is life.
Do you see how defeated she looks? She actually made that sound.
And so you could call it a clump of cells, which is dehumanizing language, but I'll go back to this. Ironically, you're the one that is actually intruding on human rights. We're the one.
Don't let her get away from this. I hate when he does this because he wants to bring up that he's the one for rights. Fine, you're for rights, Charlie. But you just let her get away with this stupid nonsense again. You should have called her out for what she did right here. You were trying to change the subject because you refused to answer the question, because if you answered the question, you'd have to admit that that is human life. You have a perfect setup here. This is why I say, people who are on my side who aren't good at arguing shouldn't probably do it out loud. You had her, dude.
Protecting human rights.
But you're trying to get rid of the option so people can have rights to their own body. If someone does not want to have a child, they should not be forced to.
If
nobody's forced to have a child. Here we go. You shouldn't be forced to have a child. Whoever's out there forcing women to have babies, please stop. Please stop. Make them or allow them the choice on whether or not to have sex. Whoever's forcing these women to have sex, stop. Wait, that's rape. It's already against the law, isn't it? Huh. No, that doesn't mean every rapist gets caught, but the whole notion that you can't force a woman to have a baby. Nobody's forcing you to have a baby. And if you got raped, we can talk about that one. That's the one that I've always said I have a problem with, because I don't believe the baby did anything wrong. But I also think it's cruel to make a woman carry a child that is the offspring of the guy who raped her. So I do have, that's the one that I'm like, I don't know. And if it was just those cases, there'd be maybe a couple thousand a year, maybe. Most conservative debaters are either poor debaters like Charlie or good debaters but are jerks like Andrew Wilson. Yeah, you know what? That's actually pretty good understatement. You're not wrong on that. And I think one of the things that I don't like about Andrew is that you can be a jerk, but he takes the jerk part and pushes it more than he needs to. He'll where Charlie here is avoiding a good point he could have made to just absolutely embarrass this woman, which is what he's trying to do for clicks. So it's fair to point that out. You had the chance to embarrass her even further and get her to acknowledge her own stupidity here. And instead he's like, but wait, I'm totally for rights. That's all he cares about, because she said you're trying to take people's rights away. And now he's like, no, I'm for giving rights. I'm giving rights. And when it comes to Andrew Wilson, he'll make a good point and then just be an annoying jerk instead of continuing on the good point. Or there's a couple of times on the Whatever podcast where he has they're almost formal debates where they'll just have one other person up there and it's the two of them. And he reads off his little script and stuff. And even in those where he is the best debating that he actually does, even in those ones, he can't help himself but to be like, no, I'm going to be a prick. I'm going to be a prick. And I get it. It's working for you, dude. But when it comes to actually changing minds or making good points, you do yourself a disservice.
Oh, wait. If we're going to be doing this, then what are you going to do about the children in the systems that have been being assaulted, that are being hurted? Put more money into the system so people can.
This is another one of those arguments I hate. Like, after the baby's born, you don't care anymore. One, that's nonsensical. I mean, the amount of money that we spend on entitlements get fucked, first of all. But All right. Let's play hypothetical here. A man is going to grow up to cure cancer. He's going to be born with the knowledge to cure cancer when he hits his 30s. But when he's a kid, there's going to be an alcoholic dad who beats his ass. Should you abort him in the womb? Fuck. Let's take away that he's going to cure cancer. He's going to grow up and have a fine life, a good life, but he's going to have an ugly childhood. Should you abort him? Should he never get the chance to have that good life because part of it's going to suck? How much suckitude does your life have to have before we can kill you? How to prevent your own suffering? Because that's the argument here. Like, they might suffer. Okay. To prevent suffering, how much murder can we get away with? Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Most conservatives are decent debaters. The left tends to be shit debaters. Then there's Internet Daddy Monk. He is the master debater. True. You should see my forearms. Oh, wait, you said master debater. My bad. Look, I've had good debates. I've had bad debates. And what you learn from the bad ones is what you really should be concentrating on. And I had a ton of fun in the Vegan Gains one, but I don't regret any of it. But if you're talking about, for coherent argument and stuff, the Hunter Avalon one is actually how I should have done things. I just really wanted to tell Richard what a retard he was. Anyway.
Can actually get adopted or actually other things like that.
Okay. Again, none of that is relevant.
No, because you want more babies to be born. What about people that can't afford them? They have to go into systems.
How many people are on the adoption waiting list?
Yeah, well, I know how many kids actually get adopted. How many kids that go into systems or are being fostered, that get assaulted, that get hurt? Are you going to be helping?
If kids can get hurt at all, they shouldn't be born. The left, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I had a rough childhood, but I had a very good childhood until things turned bad. I was not beaten or abused in any way, but goddamn, life sucked for quite a while. Guess my mom should have aborted me.
Those children that get over by this system.
So there are 2 million people on.
Look at her; she's doing the white girl dance. Wait, watch your body.
Over by this system.
So there are 2 million people on the adopt.
Just the little hip swing that makes her shoulders spin just a little bit. Like, she's like a child. This is some shit that like a 5-year-old coming up to you does, because they are still children. This is the problem with the university system now, is that, you go back into we've always had universities. It helps people. It makes them well-rounded. But it used to be adults who went into the system, and they might have been 18 or 19, although that's not always been the case. But they were raised in a different time. They were raised with responsibilities. They were raised with helping the family and raised with being adults. And I'm not talking about, you like childish things like me and my Spider-Man thing. No. They understood what responsibility is, and they we're not children. We just still like some stuff from our childhood. That's the difference. This is an actual child. She's still treated like she was when she was 5. Oh, kids say the darndest things. Chicago Mike, thank you so much for becoming a member for month number 25. My brain's starting to hurt listening to her. Oh, we're not even halfway through, I don't think. Logical Male, thank you so much. We went from what is a marriage between is to what is a woman, and in the future, where do babies come from? Well, I mean, in this case, I mean, we're already on the where do babies come from, aren't we? She's so happy with her stupidity. She doesn't even know because she's that dumb. And when she's confronted with it, and this is why I want Charlie to go after those 2 obvious points so far where he's like, you could have just buried this bitch. And instead he's like, no, I've got to get back to how you insulted me. I get what he's going for here. And again, he makes some good points along the way, but he really does a disservice.
waiting list. There are 1 million abortions every year. There are twice as many people that want to adopt than discarded children every single year. Now, I have to go back to...
Now, for the record, this is a bad point Charlie makes. 2 million people on the adoption list, 1 million aborted babies. Let's say all of the aborted babies were born and you give them to that, so there's still 1 million people that want babies. That doesn't necessarily mean that the next year 2 million people are going to want babies again. Eventually, you will run out of people who want all of these babies. The answer isn't adoption. Adoption is part of the answer. This is why I hate abortion more than putting aside the fact that it's killing people. We shouldn't need abortion. We are in the 21st century. We can regrow limbs. Well, maybe not limbs, organs, or at least they were trying to. There is so much knowledge that we have that how the hell did I get pregnant should not be a thing. You're never going to stop all people from humping and not being safe about it. But we've reached a point in our timeline where we shouldn't need abortion. We know how babies are conceived. We know how to prevent it. We know there's other things you can do if you still want sexual gratification, which won't result in a baby. We have all this knowledge, and instead we're just like, fuck it. Who needs responsibility? If people took responsibility, we wouldn't need abortions. 100%. Yeah. 100%. And this gets into like the argument of sex education in schools. We don't need to teach, hey, kids, this is how you have anal sex, to have sex education. Hey, if you have sex, you can have a baby. It doesn't matter if you're using birth control or some doctor once told you can't get pregnant. If you have sex, there's a chance of having a baby, unless you do not have the equipment to have a baby. Like say you've had your uterus removed or you got castrated. Unless you physically cannot make the parts of a baby, then every time you have sex, you have a chance of getting pregnant. Every time. And we treat it like almost like the Catholics, like, no, just use the rhythm method. Even with condoms, you could wear condoms. You could have 4 condoms on. She could be on an IUD. She could be on Depro. She could be taking birth control pills, have a sponge in, and you could still get pregnant. Is it likely? No, but it could happen. And we need to I hate to use this word because, the usual suspects, but we need to preach that to people. If you do this, this could happen. If you cross the street without looking, you could get hit by a car. But again, this goes to the women shouldn't have responsibility thing. Because if we push the notion that, hey, if you have sex, then you could have an abortion, then we're necessarily saying women do this to themselves. Because they do. Just saying. Anyway, I've been I told you guys I was annoyed today. I get a lot more preachy and talkative when I'm annoyed. And not as funny, and I apologize for that. Thank you, Chicago Mike. She probably is thinking that an abortion by stopping the stork delivery. She probably thinks it's an abortion by stopping the stork that delivers the baby. Considering earlier she told us that if you have a cyst removed from your ovary, you've had an abortion. You're probably not wrong. Hang on a second, guys. I got to take my shirt off. This fucking thing's killing me. I have a fan blowing on me, so the shirt that I've been trying to wear a shirt more often to get my back more used to wearing it, and I have a fan blowing on me because it's been hot and it's making it just wiggle enough to feel like somebody's running sandpaper on my skin. Anyway,
a fundamental question though, which I think is very important. Human development objectively begins at conception. You say it's around 2 trimesters. Can we agree that every
you stated her argument. She said life begins around 2 trimesters. And I know that's a minor point, but again, it is important because to her, human development doesn't matter. It should matter. And you're taking her down to explaining to her why it matters. But that is a difference. She doesn't even see it as a life. That it is human developed does not matter to her even a little bit. Is that your OnlyFans book? No. Most of the time you guys hear me, my nipples are showing. Sorry. There's 2 constant pains that I've gotten through this since this ordeal has started. And one of them is skin sensitivity, and on my back especially. Oh my God. Some days, man, some days.
Being, once your DNA is formed, you should have the right to life, the right to live the life the way you want to live it. Can we agree on that?
How many weeks are we saying?
No, I say, again,
He literally said at conception, sweetheart. How many weeks do you think conception takes? Oh. How many weeks of conception? Logical male, thank you so much. Feminism is a culture that affects both women at the left and right, and no one asked Tommy Lauren, are you a mom yet? Nobody asked Tommy Lauren that because she's still useful to the right in some instances. How many kids does Charlie have? He'll bring it up in a minute. He has 2. If conception takes weeks, you are a sex god, right? God, my longest is only a couple of hours. Damn. How frustrating would that be for the first 11 days of that 2-week period, and you're just still trying? I can't nut. Oh my God. Did I just say I can't nut? I mentioned I'm annoyed today.
Once we
so
can
like
acknowledge.
once the sperm is inside the egg?
Correct. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's conception, lady.
No.
Well,
once the sperm
okay.
is inside the egg in the first like couple of days? No.
Well, okay, but let's go.
Okay, you've got her down to the first couple of days. That's a good jumping off point. She's now bringing you back down to the first couple of days as the what's the process of the egg and fertilization takes place? You've got her there.
Through that. Isn't that when your DNA was formed?
Yeah.
But then aren't you fundamentally at its core, you are the DNA is your blueprint for your life. That's who you are. It's a unique marker.
It's my DNA, yeah.
Yes. So if it's not your DNA, why is it your choice?
Why is it my choice?
Yes. If it's not your DNA, why do you have a choice to eliminate it? I don't
it's
have.
up to the individual that is having them inside of it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
I fucking hate the my body, my choice nonsense. And this is part of the way they've gotten this pushed for so long. It's just her body. It's not. And Charlie actually makes a really good point there. When you get pregnant, that inside you has its own DNA. It's only half you. It's half of your DNA and half of his DNA making a whole new DNA, a whole new person. It's not just you anymore. Thank you, Cryptic. Hearing her makes men go limp. Look, if she shut up and if I was in college, I'd bang her. I would definitely tell her my name was Matt Jabrowski, but I'd bang her. She's a dirty whore on a college campus. She's a dirty whore who believes in abortion. That's the other thing I love about abortion is that men need to take responsibility for the children that they make. Why? You're just going to kill it anyway. I don't need any responsibility. Your whore ass is going to go flush it out. You've made men less responsible. Good job, I guess. Go feminism. This is the movie Idiocracy in real life. Amazon has that. I have Amazon Prime, and that's one of the movies you can watch without having to buy it right now. I've never seen it, but I've heard enough about it that I keep thinking, maybe I should. Should I watch that? Should I watch Idiocracy?
Their body, I don't care if it is like a few weeks because that.
I don't know, Monkey. Are you looking at that freeze frame? Because that's the face she's gonna make. Turn her. You don't look at her in the face. You don't lay on her. You turn her around. This is simple stuff, Jen. This is why doggy style was invented.
Is not a human
Got it.
being's
So
life yet because
outside of rape,
that individual cannot survive without the mother or who is
okay.
ever pregnant. Therefore,
again,
okay, let's take that one right there. If a woman has a baby, it's alive now. Everybody agrees, right? And the mom lays it on the floor and walks away. Never comes back. Nobody else comes back for it either. What happens to that baby? It dies because it's still dependent on mom. And but dad could raise it. True. But the point being is that it's now dependent. It's dependent on something until it, unlike say a cat, right? When a cat is born, it comes out, it's blind, its little ears are down, and its mama has to take care of it. And about 6 weeks later, it could mostly take care of itself. At 8 weeks, it's still cute and little tiny and fuzzy, but it can basically live on its own as long as it can find food. Humans can't do that. We don't get to that point until we're quite a bit older, 8 or 9 maybe. As long as you had access to food, maybe you could live 6. But until then, you need people to take care of you. And the idea that, hey, it's dependent on my body, therefore I can kill it, is nonsensical. All you're doing is making the argument for infanticide. You're too stupid to know that that's the argument you're making because you're still dependent on them. And for the people, no, it's a different kind of dependency. I had this argument because I've been a long supporter of the idea that if abortion is legal, then men shouldn't have to pay child support if they don't want to. They shouldn't. If women can walk away from their responsibility, then men should be allowed to walk away from their responsibility, period. And one of the biggest arguments I ran into it with many people, like, women could die when they're pregnant. Who dies the most in work-related accidents? If I have to pay child support, then I have to go to work unless I'm independently wealthy. So I am putting my body in danger to take care of that being. Why are you allowed to tell me that I have to do something with my body to take care of that baby that I don't want? Now, that's not my belief system. That my belief system there is that we should have parity. My actual belief system is you guys made a child, you need to take care of it. But if you're going to give women an out, men should get that out too.
So let's get down to this because I think it's very important and a good way to end this question, which is outside of rape, how did the woman get pregnant?
Outside of rape, so we're not going to be talking about incest or other individuals like that. Because
he asked you outside of rape how they get pregnant. Why are you bringing up incest? Now, when they bring up incest in these cases, what they're actually talking about is molestation, which is still rape. Because like it or not, there are still, look, West Virginia is a thing. There's going to be some inbreeding, consensual inbreeding. It happens. There's a famous couple from Germany that it's a brother and a sister who were fighting to be allowed to marry each other because they're fucking weirdos. If you bang your sister and you and your sister are both of age and you were like, let's hump, and you guys make a kid, you get to raise Goober. I'm sorry. You guys made Goober. Goober is your problem now. You should not be able to kill Marty McFly. Damn it, Dangerous. You stepped on my joke. You should not be able to kill Marty McFly because you're a fucking freak hoe. Okay? So stop saying incest when what you mean is molestation, which is rape. So you don't even need to have two different categories there. That kid will be messed up. Probably not. Oh God, I am not arguing for incest, but first generation mom, dad, baby, brother, sister, baby, is probably going to be fine. It's only when you keep repeating that pattern that it becomes a problem. Do not go bang your sister or your mom or anybody else in your immediate family, please. That's not what I'm saying. Just scientifically, the child would actually be, unless you're talking about emotionally, and then you're kind of fucked up if you tell your child that his uncle is his dad, because that's fucking weird. The kid has way more problems than you. Oh, sorry. Let's go over here. Check in on the Streamlabs. Thank you so much. I need to learn to draw that out longer so that it loads before I finish drawing it out. It's not really drawn out well if it hasn't loaded. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you. So you can kill your kids if their dependency is a burden. Got it. Bad news, sweetheart. We spoke with your parents who pay for your college. Time to report to the euthanasia facility. This is your logic. Yeah, but again, she doesn't understand that it's her logic because they don't think that deeply about this kind of stuff. Hey, you, be nice to your mom. Sorry. To your mother's brothers and your mother, sister, and brother, dad. There you go. Sorry, Dangerous. I jumped all over that. I tripped. JB, thank you. She's my daughter and my sister. It's just another day in Chinatown. Such a good movie. How many of you guys have seen Chinatown? I'm a fan of detective stories and stuff, so I always wanted to see Chinatown. And, you know, back in the day, it wasn't available. And when I could finally watch it, I was mesmerized. And I learned about Chinatown from the release of The Two Jakes. The Two Jakes was the follow-up to Chinatown done in the, late 80s, early 90s? I forget when it was done. So I watched Chinatown, and Chinatown is fucking excellent. It's so well done. And then I watched The Two Jakes. Moving along.
Says it's not only just rape or other situations.
How about I say
it's not just rape or other situations? What a fucking retarded thing to say. It's literally just rape or other situations because other situations covers literally everything else, you retard. It's a good time to remind you that I'm brought to you by you. So if you're enjoying this, you're doing it to yourself. Okay? Oh my God.
Let's talk about how eggs that get mixed up in
how about
clinics.
if I say
Wait, what did she just say? She say something about mixed up exhibits? What?
Individuals like that, because it says it's not only just rape.
How's she? Okay. I did not mean to do this, but to listen to what she's about to say, I started concentrating on the screen and how the fuck you get camel toe in jean shorts? Baby. God damn. I'm not going to be able to stop looking at that now. Why is your shorts being eaten by your vagina right now? All right, back to what I was trying to hear.
Hold on.
Or other situations.
How about I say?
Let's talk
how
about
about
how
if I
eggs
say?
that get mixed up in
How
clinics.
about if I say?
Eggs get mixed. What the fuck? Hang on.
How about if I say?
Let's talk
how
about
about if I say?
eggs that get mixed up in
How
clinics.
about if I say?
It sounds like she says, how about when eggs get mixed up exhibits? I'm being deadly serious. Does anybody know what the fuck she just said? Monkey wants to bang this chick. What? I don't want to bang her for her intelligence. And I don't want to bang her. I said if I was younger and in college, I would do it. She's way too young. No. I see. Oh, in eggs mixed up in clinics. Thank you. She's screeching. So as a husband, my brain is just like, I can't even. But that's not nice. Lady Monkey does not screech at me because she knows I won't listen. I forgot where I was going because you guys, Eggs get mixed up in clinics. What the fuck does that have to do with abortion? How would that be in any way? Okay, let's say that eggs get mixed up in a clinic, right? And they're like, oops, this jar baby is supposed to be over in mom A instead of jar baby B. Whoopsie. One, how did they find that? And two, wouldn't the easy thing to be is just both of them have the baby and trade? Oh, this debate needs to be aborted. It's yeah. Keep your dick out of it. Look, man, you can bang crazy chicks. Just lie to them about who you are and do everything you can to not splooge in them. Just have her lick it and put it in the bottom, because you know this girl is fine for that. I'm telling you. You don't even have to touch the vag. Her shorts are doing all the work there. And I do love the shorts. If you pay attention, notice how they're darker at the crotch, and that is to make you look. And then I don't want the male gaze. Yeah, that's why you're wearing shorts that literally point to your vagina.
How about if I say I'm okay with abortion for rape, incest, and life of the mother? Let's make it illegal in the other circumstances. Would you agree?
How are we going to be able to term that all the time, though? Because what if it wasn't consensual? What if the individual was drunk?
What if it was? How about we make it so that you can have an abortion if you're raped? How are you going to tell? What if it wasn't consensual? You mean rape? Jesus Christ. Okay. Again, for argument's sake, let's say that, because she also goes, well, what if they're, let's let her finish her point, and then I'll.
Are we going to be able to term that all the time, though? Because what if it wasn't consensual? What if the individual was drunk, but they're married? Let's say they're married.
What if they're drunk, but they're married? What? Okay. Let's say we add all of those into, right? It's still not 1/10 of all abortions. It's still not even 5% of all abortions. She means, what if the woman lies? Yeah. And we would know that pretty quickly, because like suddenly they were all raped, right? Or you can go with the Dworkin test, and it's just like all sex is rape. That actually sounds like Andrea Dworkin as well. Or at least what she used to sound like before that whore shuffled off this moral coil and went to the hell she deserves to be in. Her voice is hurting my head. Yeah, she's got a grating voice, doesn't she? So now she's advocating there is something called consensual rape of drunk married people, apparently. I don't fucking know. I want my tax dollars back. This is what public education gives us. That dude locked his daughter in the basement for 23 years, had 7 kids. 6 grew up perfectly fine, except for issues, the ones raised in the basement. Yeah. So this is a pretty famous story. I forget the name. In fact, I just saw, because I watch all my crime shows here on YouTube. Somebody just did a video on them. There's tons of videos out there. This is a case that's been covered forever, but somebody just redid that. This man builds a basement that he takes his daughter in, locks her in there, and rapes her for 23 years. And they end up having several children. And yeah, the children physically turned out fine. Mentally, they're all fucked up because duh. Anyway.
And they got raped.
You can get a rape. Again, you keep on interrupting me, but you can report rape as a crime. You can.
Look, you keep interrupting me. I am. Fuck. Ugh.
And also do a blood test to find out if it's incest. But 99.9% of all abortions are not rape and not incest and not life of the mother. How did that woman get pregnant in those certain?
Life of the mother doesn't count as abortion anyway. If it's truly life of the mother, there's very few rare cases where it could, but the ones that they're talking about, most of the time where they talk about life of the mother, they're actually not talking about life of the mother. One that they never actually say what they mean is when they're talking about eugenics, like this kid's going to come out retarded. And I don't want to have a retard kid. I could die from this. It's amazing how many times that is the actual argument they're making, although they try to pretend it's like, no, this could kill the mom. Anyway.
Situations. Did she just walk through campus and it just appeared and all of a sudden a baby is in her uterus? Or did she do something to decide to potentially have a child?
Sex, but also contraceptives sometimes don't always
Got
work.
it. So, but
okay, contraceptives not working is entirely beside the point. But again, I want to reiterate the nonsense of contraception not working is just that. It's nonsense. If you read like the back of a condom box, it'll tell you something like they're 98% effective. And people are like, well, that means 2% of the time you can have a kid. No, that's not how that percentage works. You're still likely not going to have a child. There are people who have had sex many times, more than 100, and used condoms every time and never had a baby. If birth control were as bad as these idiots tell us, because they love that argument, birth control doesn't always work. All right. How many times is that the case? And how many times is it, oh, I don't have a condom. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I lied to my dad. I told him straight up. Now, yeah, we used a condom. We didn't even think of a condom. By that time, condoms were so out of our minds, we never thought about them. I think me and Lady Monkey used a condom once in our entire time together. We've been together over 30 years, and we used a condom once. Logical Male, thank you. If Charlie starts lecturing men that they need to get married and not address what's in front of him, he will get roasted. I don't think he goes that way. No, he doesn't go that way in this argument. If he does somewhere else, I couldn't tell you. The rhythm method, I know people who've used the rhythm method and swear by it. And I would not chance that, being honest. That's the Catholic thing, and that's why you end up with Catholics that got 10 kids, or you used to.
But hold on a second.
Real Catholics, not Joe Biden Catholics.
Shouldn't you take responsibility for your orgasms?
I don't think most men can make me come. I'm going to be honest.
It's weird to tell the entire world you're a frigid bitch, but you do you, sweetheart. I love that Charlie made a bad argument there because women don't have to orgasm to have children. Men do. And the argument that you should be responsible for your orgasm is one that only actually affects men. And that's fine. He had a weird slip there. But why would that be your answer? I don't think most men can make me come. I don't think they want to, sweetie. You're a pump and dump, okay? What she's actually trying to get at there is that she's a lesbian. Most men can't make me come. That's why I have the girls do it. Because just scientifically, most women don't come from sex. They don't have an orgasm from getting pounded. That's some bullshit that happens in movies that you guys shouldn't be watching anyway. Fucking degenerates. In real life, most women require stimulation of the clit. That's just true. So you're not saying anything here other than I like girls because they just lick me and that's what I really like. Which, by the way, guys, you should be helping the chick out, unless you're not planning on banging her anymore. Like if she's a pump and dump, then yeah, just LOL, you're doing it wrong then. No, that's statistically true. Look it up. This has been done or looked at for a long time. Most women do not have orgasms from penis and vagina sex. It comes from other stimulation. Jeff, thank you. I've been listening to this conversation and now I can't get I'm my own grandpa out of my head. Thanks, monkey. What is my own grandpa? I need to know. That sounds like something I would laugh at. Oh, her nerve endings are fried from sitting, or the top sitting on the vibrator. There we go. No. It's they don't. Okay. In orgasms are caused by nerves being stimulated, and considering the average sexual act is what, like 90 seconds, the actual everybody likes to brag, I can go all night long. Fuck you. You're out. You tap out after a minute. Stop it. It's true. We all know it. It's from the movie The Stupids. Oh, I've never seen it. Okay. But anyway, there's physiological reasons for why it happens. And the majority of our nerve endings are in the head of the penis, and that's getting constant contact during coitus, during fornication. The nerve endings for women, this is why they try to prove the G spot and never been able to, because the majority of the nerve endings in the female genitals are in the clitoris, which doesn't get directly stimulated during sex, unless, I mean, it's like poking up or something. It might get rubbed a little bit as your fat belly is, doing your best work. But especially like if you move her over, like you should do this chick, doggy. The stimulation there is just a little bit from the skin moving a little. And with lubrication, that happens less because it's not pulling. There's a lot of this. The G spot is found in the man's wallet. Yes. Anyway, sorry. We do not need to be having sex ed class right here. But you guys did learn something if you didn't know. And for those of you, my wife comes every time. She's lying to you, bro. She's lying to you. Maybe you're the one. I'm wrong. You're the one guy that gets her off every time he even looks at it every fucking time. Women, stop lying to men about this shit. Cryptic, thank you. She reminds me of opinionated Scotsman if he was a female American. Oh, that's rude. You be as rude as you want to be in the donations, though. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, again, outside of that statement, I'm not even sure.
I love the women back here laughing their asses off.
Or how to take that, to be honest.
You brought up orgasms.
Okay.
Yeah, you did set her up for that. Well, you didn't set her up for that. Your point was stupid. You should have said it better, but
shouldn't you take responsibility for the sex that you have?
That was what you should have said the first time, dummy.
I mean, if I was wanting to have a child and my contraceptives, I didn't use any contraceptives and I wanted to get pregnant, sure, I'm taking responsibility for that life because I wanted that life. But let's say I was having sex and my contraceptives didn't work and I got the chance of getting pregnant. I am not having that child.
So the answer is no, you don't think that you should be responsible for the sex you had. Cool. What if we applied that logic to rapists? That they're not responsible for the sex they have.
So, but you still decided to have sex.
Yeah.
And again, our opinion, when you go and decide, having sex is not something you need to survive. It's not like showering or eating or shelter. You can live without having sex. You can have a little bit of self-control. If you decide to go have sex, you should.
But see, what he's preaching here is true. It's absolutely true. You can live without sex. There's nothing else is needed there. However, what he's missing is that there's that entitlement. I deserve to have sex. I deserve it. This is what I want, and I should never be told no. You're not allowed to tell women no, Charlie. You're not allowed to tell them. The only way you're allowed to tell women no is if they're standing up to feminist bullshit. If there was a woman here who was saying she agrees abortion should be banned, then you could tell her no. But you're not allowed to disagree with feminism because women are allowed to do whatever they want to, and they should have no responsibility. They should be able to have their they should not only be able to have their cake and eat it too, they should be able to have leftovers of that shit. And that is the fundamental problem with this, and with the whole "it's your right," is that rights should come with responsibilities, right? We have the right to free speech, but we need to follow the laws of our land in order to partake in that. We our rights that we have, even fundamentally given to us by God, according to the Declaration, you still have responsibilities that go along with your rights. It's the social contract of rights and responsibilities. But we've raised entire generations now who don't believe they should have responsibilities. It's just whatever I want to do. If I want to be a dirty hoe who goes out there and tells people that I can't get off, I should be allowed to do that. Maybe that's why she has her shorts so up her so she can feel something there.
Understand, you play certain games, you win certain prizes, which might be another human life. And it is the
I don't want to have another child, though.
Hold on a second. Then don't go.
And in fairness, I have no doubt that she would fuck up a child. I mean, look at her. She still is one. This is what is so amazing to me. I'm not that far removed. This isn't like, the Greatest Generation versus my generation, or even the Lost Generation versus mine. We're watching in real time grown-ass adults turned into children. These are people who should have responsibilities. How many of these people, just in that crowd, even the ones with their Make America Great hats and cheering this on, by the way, those two brunettes that are behind her, both adorable. Somebody should go knock them up now with their consent. Oh, but all of these kids, how many of them are doing this on their own dime? How many of them have full-time jobs to pay for their college habit? They have literally no concept of responsibility. When kids get in trouble now in elementary schools and stuff, their parents come out and be like, "How dare you hold my child responsible? He's a good kid. He didn't do nothing wrong. Little Timmy set himself on fire. It wasn't Steve." Like, no, we got video of Steve doing it. Steve deserves an education. No, Steve should be in an insane asylum because his name is Steve and you fucked him up from the beginning. The whole nonsense with ADHD and autism. Now there's going to be oh my God, Monkey, you don't believe in those? No, I do. Both of those things are real, but they have been used to just excuse bad parenting for decades. It started with the ADHD thing, and then it went to autism, where every child that misbehaves, no, it's not their fault. They're autistic. Sure, that's what it is. It's not that you're a bad parent who doesn't, hold them to any kind of account. No, they're autistic. They're hyperactive. I was a hyperactive child. My mom did not put up with shit. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you. Wait, hold up. Did she say I don't want another child? Says a lot. I don't remember if she said it exactly that way, but she might have. She did say I don't want to mess up another child, which wouldn't necessarily be her specifically messing it up, just meaning, Steve with a V or a PH. I count them together most of the time, but usually I use the V. Steve didn't do it. Yes, he did. Steve's an asshole. How dare you defend him, Steve?
Have sex.
No.
Oh, so you understand how narcissistic that is, that I want to keep on having fun, and if I have a human being and oopsie daisy, I'm going to eliminate that other human being because I don't want to have the human.
Charlie pulled the narcissistic line. You guys know how I feel about that. No, selfish is the terminology you need here. It doesn't have to be full-blown narcissism. There's lots of just selfish people, and she's just selfish. This is what I want. I want it.
Being, but I want to keep on having free sex. How is that not the most narcissistic worldview that one can possibly espouse?
Because those are just being selfish is not the only component of being a narcissist. That's why. I get what you're getting at here, but just like when you ask, shouldn't you be responsible for your orgasm? You're using the wrong terminology because you're not smart enough for these debates, Charlie.
Is narcissistic that I want to have sex with another consenting individual just because I don't want to have children. I feel like a lot of people in the world have sex. I think a lot of people make money off of having sex, and they don't want to have children.
I'm quite sure she had a point. I'm just not sure what it was. It's narcissistic because I want to have sex with another consenting adult. Lots of people have sex. Lots of people have sex or make money off of having sex and don't want children. You're not narcissistic, or in this case, selfish. You're not selfish for not wanting to have kids. I mean, there can be a selfishness to it. And if you dig into the polls on this, a lot of the women, of the 60% of women who don't want to have kids, the people who don't have kids, okay, we have to break this down properly. Of the women out there who haven't had children, according to some studies, 60% of them don't want children. And the majority of those people don't want children because it would ruin their lifestyle. And yes, that is selfish. If that is your reason for not having kids, that is selfish. I'm not saying you're bad for being selfish, but that's what it is. If your reason for not wanting kids is so that you can continue to live your life in your Peter Pan fantasy, that's actually more what's going on here, Charlie, rather than narcissism. You want to keep living your childish existence where you get to do whatever you want whenever I want to, then yeah, it's selfish. And hey, be selfish if you want. It's bad for the overall of society. That is absolutely selfish. If you don't want a kid because you're worried that you couldn't provide for it, that's not selfish. That's actually looking out for the child. But if you're worried that it's going to change your lifestyle and you're not going to be able to go out and get your frappe every morning because you won't be able to afford it anymore, that's selfish. And I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with being selfish, because you know that gets you into trouble. But there are times that there's nothing wrong with being selfish. Thank you, Frank. Wow, just got here and she's retarded. If you just got here, you really have no idea. But yeah, you're not wrong. Good morning. I have noticed most traits in a man for being a narcissist are very common in women. Yet they say most narcissists are male. Back to the beginning. The reason they say most narcissists are male is because they sell psychology to women. And you're not going to sell it to women by telling them they're the problem. That's just the truth of it. That's the advertising angle of it. Logical Male, thank you so much. Was this female ever on the T app? No, because most men can't give her an orgasm. This chick is a taco eater. We'll leave it at that. She likes tacos, not hot dogs, y'all.
I feel like it is something that everybody do. A lot of people have sex just for pleasure.
Okay, having sex just for pleasure is fine. Your reasoning for doing it is irrelevant unless you are trying specifically to have a child, because then it would be weird to get an abortion afterwards. But that doesn't mean you're not responsible for what happens after. And this is part of that childishness. Hey, I wanted to have sex. I didn't want a baby. Well, that's how babies are made. Yeah, but I didn't want a baby. Well, but you had sex, and that's how babies are made. But other people have sex and didn't have a baby. Okay, they could have, but we're talking about you right now, and you got pregnant. You're having a baby. No, I'm not. I didn't want to have a baby. If you take a gun, right, and you're living in an apartment in New York City, right, and you're like the 20th floor of an apartment building, and you take your gun out because you think it'd be fucking cool to just shoot through your window, and you do it, and that bullet flies down and hits somebody in the head and kills them. Your intent wasn't to kill them. Tons of people fire guns all the time. That doesn't mean you didn't kill somebody. Because I didn't mean to do it, but you did it. You did something that had the chance of a really bad outcome, and you still did it, then you're still responsible for the outcome. But this is they have no idea about consequence. People remain helpless and lazy until they're allowed to suffer consequences. Yeah, 100%. And not only do we have people not suffering their consequences, they're excused from their consequences. They shouldn't have had consequences in the first place. It would be great if, as a society, we could flip a switch and the only time you got pregnant is when you wanted to get pregnant, right? Like we had, like our nipples, right? If you touch the left one, it turns on the I want a baby button. You'd push the right one and it turns that off. That would be wonderful. But it's not how the world works. It's not how biology works. Responsibilities. Abortion is a responsibility of what she's talking about here, but they've made abortion so acceptable that it's not even seen as a consequence anymore. I'm just saying.
Because a lot of people do it does not make it right, number one. Number two, again, fundamentally, your view is I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And
I have a question.
If it creates another human being, so be it. Sure.
Do you have sex just to have a baby every single time then? Or are you doing it for pleasure?
I am married and we have 2 kids. So we're pretty good
but
at
are
it.
you having? I'm assuming that you have had sex more than twice.
Okay, now she's switching to an argument he didn't even make. I'm fairly certain Charlie would tell you that he believes you should only have sex if you're wanting to have children. I don't know that for a fact, but a lot of people in his position. No sound, monkey. What? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Hello? Hello. Hang on a second. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, my sound is coming through, so I don't know why you guys aren't getting sound. Hello? I hear you. Okay, so it's not me. All right. Let's bring this back on the screen. There we go. Sorry if some of you couldn't hear me there for a minute. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I forgot what I was ranting about during that part, so we'll just move along.
Your life,
again,
not just to have the babies.
That's what it was. She's making the argument that, and look, this is a good argument for some of those folks out there, but they're like, they think you should only have sex if you're trying to have a baby. I'm fine with sex without wanting to have a baby. If you want to just have fun, cool. However, that fun still comes with the possibility of a baby, and that part can't be negated. That's where the responsibility of it. Hey, go out there and have fun. Go out there, hump just for the fun of it. But there might be consequences of it. That's all. That's it. If you don't want to have the baby, if you don't want to have the possibility of a baby, the only way to guarantee that you're not going to have a baby is not to get sperm anywhere near a vagina. That's the only way to do it. Abstinence really, she could blow you. Yeah, and then she could spit and it could land in the wrong spot. You could use a condom, and when you leave, she could squeeze that into herself. That's happened, and the dude was found responsible for that child. The only way to make sure you're not going to have a baby is to not have sex. That's just the reality of it. And yeah, you can have all the fun sex you want. And hopefully you don't have a child if you don't want one. But if you do, and that's the part, especially this generation of feminist nonsense has a problem with, is but if you do, I should not have responsibilities. I am woman. Hear me roar.
Inside look into my sex life, but
you're doing it for pleasure, not just to have kids.
Well, again, we actually,
he didn't say you can only have sex to have kids. What is it? What the fuck are you talking? This is a straw man from left fucking field. She cleared all the other fields, and over there in the left field, there was one goddamn scarecrow left, and she's like, I'm gonna go get that one. Your point only makes sense if Charlie has had sex for fun, made a baby, and they aborted it. Then he'd be a hypocrite in this situation. But there's no evidence of that. He wasn't saying you're not allowed to have sex. And this is the kind of shit that they pull all the time. Switch that script. You just don't like women enjoying sex. Nobody said that. Nobody said women can't like sex. Nobody said you can't have sex for fun. Go do it. But if you get pregnant,
always do it with God's trust that if we get kids, it's a blessing, okay? And we do it in the marriage.
Monk, you should understand as an incel with several grandchildren. I know, right? I do love being called an incel. It shit makes me laugh.
Context. Again,
you also are in a position where you can afford to have children. You are in a position.
Do you see what she did there? See what he did? She's like, I have 2 children, and if we have another one, we'll take care of it. She's like, oh, but you're in a position to afford it. A minute ago, it was you have sex for fun. And when that blows up in her face, we got to switch to the next bullshit. But you can afford the children. If only children that could be afforded were born, the population of the earth would be much, much smaller. Much smaller. I know you don't like to hear this, but tons of poor, middle class, upper middle class, everybody has kids.
Where you are not the lower class.
How about this? How about we have the mature?
Kill poor kids. Is that really the argument you want to make? Excuse me. I told you my throat is fucked up, guys. Sorry about that. But that's we're back to euthanizing poor people, I guess. Jesus Christ, man. You don't even listen to what you say. You just spout nonsense because these are the talking points you've heard. You've heard people say, but poor people can't have babies. They can't afford them. All right. What happens if they think they can afford it and then they find out they can't? What if, theoretically speaking, because she said she believes life begins at the 2nd trimester. That's her telling of this. Life begins at the 2nd trimester. What if in month number 8, the husband and wife both lose their jobs and they have no prospect of getting another one? Is it okay to kill that life? What if it's the day before? The day before the baby's born and the stock market tanks and all of their savings are gone and they have no chances of, we're going back to the 1920s and it's going to be, or the 1930s is going to be fucking horrible. Can you kill it then? I mean, it's about to be born and the stock market crashes. Can you kill it then? What is the magical part of crossing through the vaginal canal that makes it suddenly wrong to kill it? It's still dependent on other people, so that doesn't matter. It still can be a burden to mom and dad. Could literally get them killed throughout their life. So any of your bullshit you can put on this, I guess, well, I mean, if it was a rape baby, it's still a rape baby no matter what. So what is the difference of passing through the vaginal canal, through the birthing canal, that suddenly makes it unacceptable to kill? Especially if your reasoning is it could cost money. And I don't want to hear that shit from people who are paying $9 for a fucking coffee.
Purity and the sophistication. Again, you keep on using words children and baby. Let me ask you a question. When someone is celebrating a pregnancy, do they call it
this is another thing that a lot of people on the internet do that drives me insane. Charlie just did it. I don't know if you caught it. Well, you probably didn't catch it because I cut him off here. But he did it earlier. I was watching, who was I watching yesterday? Somebody, I don't remember. But they were doing it too, where they kept going and again when they hadn't brought the thing up yet. This Charlie just said, and again, and he's going to a point that hadn't been brought up yet.
A clump of cell shower or a baby shower?
That's also when it's already been past those weeks.
Oh, so it magically gets pixie dust. You're a human being now.
No, because it develops.
Oh, exactly, because it's all around the spectrum of human development, and human development starts at conception.
Yeah, is it going to be completely developed at the first week? No, so
You're not completely developed right now. A lot of people
I'm
aren't
not going to be
completely
complete.
developed. I mean,
where you're never going to be
but I
completely
mean that.
developed.
It's like you are not.
You will be completely developed. When you die, that is the end of your development. But this is one of the places Charlie's making a good argument and slapping her around with it, which I appreciate because, yeah, his whole point is that human development is what defines human life from conception through the end. And she just doesn't have an argument for that because, yeah, human development never stops. Not until you do.
Completely developed at age 30 or 40. The spectrum of human development keeps on going when you go deep and deep into your life. The question is the most important question. When does that journey begin? That journey begin. Like, when did your process of development begin?
My process of development?
Yes.
I'm not sure it has.
Yeah. At conception. Every person in this audience, your life started at conception. And your own DNA from your eye color.
See, and this is one of those places where let her answer that question. You set her up and you got the smile knowing she was wrong. Make her admit it, fucker. God bless.
To your hair color.
This is where Ben Shapiro would have actually done so much better at this.
Color, to your height, from your likes and your dislikes, whether you're an introvert, you're an extrovert, all of that was coded into your deoxyribonucleic acid at the moment that you were a zygote. And so that human deserves constitutional and human rights. And again, you came up here with the accusation saying, I am here taking away people.
I just want to pause there because he's going to go big on the rights thing. He just said that we're deserving of constitutional rights. Which constitution, Charlie? This is a bad argument. We deserve human rights. And even that's not the greatest argument. We deserve the chance to live is what you want to say and what you should say. Because if you're saying we deserve constitutional rights and you're talking about the American Constitution, then logically you should believe that we need to go out and take over the world to spread the constitutional rights. And this is one of those places that the arguments fall down. You have to be careful about what you're saying. You deserve constitutional rights. The United States Constitution or the Iranian Constitution? Which one? That's a bad argument. Don't make bad arguments. This is Kyle. Thank you. Whole generations thinking they shouldn't be responsible or should never face consequences. I don't want a baby. I don't want to pay student loans. Yeah. I shouldn't have to. I don't want to do it, so I shouldn't have to. They've mistaken right or they've mistaken wants for rights, and that's nonsensical. But anyway, yeah. I just hate this argument. You deserve constitutional rights if you're an American. I would like to see the rest of the world embrace what we have, but that's their fucking problem, not mine. Do I think kids in India deserve my constitutional rights? No. Their parents set them up for failure. It's not my fault. Although I say that as, they'll probably be calling me later. Because American companies all use the Indians. I should have used a different country. Zimbabwe. I learned today that mentioning Zimbabwe as a shithole is racist. I didn't know that. And I apologize for my racism because I brought up Zimbabwe the other day on Twitter. Bringing up Zimbabwe to point out how inflation is bad is apparently racist. I will stick to Germany from now on. No, I won't. I just thought it was funny.
Rights.
You are.
Again, so
you are affecting LGBT rights and abortion rights. You are affecting individuals.
I just paused here. We can go back and watch the whole thing in its entire glory. But look at her right now. She's not blinking. I didn't pause this, just happened to be blinking. She closed her eyes so she could say this. I can't even look at you while I tell you this thing that I'm going to repeat everything I've already said already. I mean, I don't even know. You don't exist. I close my eyes. This is such childish shit. Watch.
You are affecting LGBT rights
right,
and
so
abortion rights. You are affecting individuals that can't always speak for themselves.
You are affecting individuals. She is saying this in the abortion debate. You are affecting individuals who can't speak for themselves. Can't always speak for themselves. You know who can never speak for themselves? Never, not once. Don't even have the option. Fuck you, lady.
Got it. So again, I think we have gone through this plenty of times. I want to get to the next question.
Okay.
But maybe we can get.
Okay, we're almost to the point. The whole reason I decided to do this. It's coming up here.
Maybe we can get to some.
I'll burn it.
You'll burn it. Okay. Maybe we can get to.
Somebody said something about bringing a cross, and I'll burn it. Hang on.
Maybe we can get to some.
I'll burn it.
Somebody yelled, "Get across," and she yelled, "I'll." That. By the way, this isn't the part I'd forgot. Is that really the notion you want to put out there? You ain't think that one through very far, did you? Or maybe she did. Maybe she really hates black folks. I don't fucking know. She is pro-abortion, so maybe she is for burning crosses. They do tend to go together.
You'll burn it. Okay. Maybe we can get to some approximation of an agreement. Can we agree?
No.
Oh,
that's the part I wanted. Can we agree? No. Can we? No. Didn't even get to what they wanted to agree on. Just no. I've said it many times in this watch through that this is a child. She's a child. That is some childish bullshit right there. Can we agree? No. All righty. Well, then there you go. There you go. What's her accent? Annoying white bitch. Can't wait for the class action suit that made preborn babies persons in the birthright citizenship case to be a justification to end all abortions. That would be an interesting argument, actually. Legally, it'd be interesting to watch. Yeah. There are very few of these, even when it's a person who's agreeing with Charlie, where I've looked at it and thought, hey, that's a young adult. That's a adult. Instead, this is like watching preschool. I was going to say preteen, but preschool is more like it, especially with her. This is childish activity that I would expect from a 5-year-old. Can we agree? No. All righty. I don't want to. That's not what I want to do. This is childish. This is brat behavior. Yes, very brat, and not the Kamala's so cool that she's brat. This is bratty fucking behavior. This is the kind of behavior that her parents should have disciplined out of her. And no, I'm not getting into an argument about it, but she clearly had no discipline in her life. This chick has never been grounded. This chick has never been sent to bed without dinner. And I know you're not supposed to do that. And I didn't do that with my children either, but metaphorically, she's never been sent to bed without dinner. She's been given everything she's ever wanted. She's never had to work for anything. She's never had to have responsibility. Exactly. No one's ever told her no. This is why I said so many years ago, we need to bring in the newspapers. And when people like this start talking, you just roll it up and no. Smack them on the nose like a dog. No. Because they have no concept of no. I want is all they know. And that is the future of the world, y'all. Now, it's not everybody. But the reality of it is that that's what the media pushes. And they still, even conservative media goes down the feminist path. Even conservative media, look at Tucker Carlson. I mean, the dude is a fucking commie when it comes to fiscal stuff. And he'll say stuff, and you'll see people who claim to be conservative go, that makes a lot of sense. I saw somebody just the other day who was, it was Asmongold, talking about we need universal basic income. We have to have it because automation is a thing. Do you know how long automation has been a thing? Is it getting different and more intelligent? Sure, but there's still tons of stuff that can't be done through automation. And even if you have a mostly automated society, you still need people to keep an automated society running. There's tons of shit that AI can't do. And will we get there one day? Maybe. Will we need a universal basic income at that point? I suppose if you want to crash your economy, yeah. I mean, we're all going to live poor when that happens. There are tons of people who think that's coming, but my point being, even in the conservative side of things, the amount of communism and feminism, but I repeat myself, that has leaked in is kind of depressing. It's pretty sad. And I don't have an answer for it, but I am going to laugh at people like Strawberry Hoe Cake here because Jesus Christ, the amount of stupid, the amount of dumb and childish that is in here. Even the way she stands, that is very childish. Anyway.
Can we agree on? I will pray for you this Holy Week. Thank you for your time.
Please don't ever pray for me.
Please don't ever pray for me. Please don't ever. Oh, what a dirty whore. Anyway, so that was her, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this one up and go play a video game. Thank you so much for hanging out. My internet actually did much better than I thought it would. That's the best it's behaved in a long time. And as I say that, it'll probably cut out. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you more than I could ever express in words. And I'm good with words, so let that sink in. Thank you for the donations. You guys are fucking amazing. And I'll never have the words to thank you enough for that. Making your money my money because you enjoy what little joy I bring to your life, especially after... You guys should be charging me after what I made you just watch. But seriously, you guys are amazing, and I appreciate it. There's no long outro. Nothing else to say. Take care of yourselves. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Wait, get some sleep, monkey. Who you trying to kill? You want people to die? I do want sleep, but it's not going to happen. I appreciate the sentiment. Take care, guys. See you on the next one. Here's the song at the end of the show. If you're gonna be a hoe, don't do it now. No, that doesn't rhyme. I want to give you guys a good song for today because I've enjoyed this and you guys have helped me because I was so annoyed when I started this and I'm in a much better mood now. What should I sing? Oh, I know. Here's some gangsta